so that it was
Barrett the F.
in
right in the F.
F.
In the F.
In F.
F.
Because
In the A.
What?
most.
I'm sorry, what happened?
This isn't how we start streams.
No.
We're supposed to be going.
I'm sorry.
Hey, are we streaming?
Are we live?
Yeah.
The A.
Hey.
Hey, we're live. Sick.
I'll send out a tweet.
Okay.
Nice.
I will go to the tweet.
There's a tweet for
oh,
you.
Shit, that was
I
fast.
will click on the live stream
shit.
and then
Aw, shit.
tweet.
Ooh, I can retweet this right after someone retweeting Sugar Dad, expecting to get $1,000 because they retweeted something on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that
God,
people,
that is the biggest.
literally
fucking-
nobody ever.
Yeah, people
ever,
need to
ever
not
gets
do
that.
that.
Money.
People are so dumb.
I went through like 3 or 4 months of that guy's tweets looking for him, like retweeting somebody who actually got money or something like that. No, there's none.
How many followers does he? I'm just
Oh, he's
curious
probably
now.
got like a quarter
Sugar
million.
Dad. Oh, 338.5 thousand.
I was close.
Some followers will be rewarded. Here to make you smile.
In
Here to
Valhalla.
make your smile. Winners chosen at random. Secret tweets are sent to those who have notifications on. Many thanks.
Sorry.
Hey.
I realized I was still logged in as the BMFcast.
Oh dear.
Hey, BMFcast.
They want us like double chatting and it being confusing.
Double chatting.
That would be cool if it was a super rich person that actually did that, but
It's not.
it's not, and it never will be.
I get people that I get random followers on Instagram who's like, I'm Earl Jacobson. I won the New Jersey Lotto and I'm giving away $100 billion.
Yeah.
Follow me to get some. I'm like,
No.
no, thank you, Earl.
See,
The sad thing is there's probably like one guy out there actually doing it.
right.
And nobody follows
And
him.
it's just like, why won't people
It's
follow
just
me?
the
I
same
just-
guy keeps following
Yeah.
him and retweeting. And he's
Yeah.
all right, well, I
just-
guess that guy gets another 10 grand.
This is like the Nigerian prince who actually is related to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I just
Well,
I
it
just
was
want to
like-
find my relative.
It was like in when I got us all preview tickets for Captain America: First Avenger through Dunkin' Donuts because I was like one of 2 people that retweeted like their little contest, and I was like, okay,
That was Dunkin'
they-
Donuts of Northeast Florida.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
because they only had like 75 followers, and I'm
Oh
like,
my
man,
God.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I follow Dunkin' Donuts, fuck yes, and they're
Yeah.
like, retweet this to get Captain America tickets. I'm like, how many times can I retweet this?
Give me them tickets.
Because then they sent me, and I'm like, I got some friends who want to go. Can I hook them up? They're like, sure, yeah. And then we got there, and the lady was like, yeah, we don't actually have tickets, but I can find you a seat. You remember that? And we're like, because I think Green Cap came with us too.
Really?
Yeah,
I only
And,
remember
like I
being-
had to talk her into giving us a seat because I'm like, hey, it's me, Mackie, the one from Twitter. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Holla at your boy.
Yeah.
You know, you may know me from the internet.
Well, I was worried because I was like, the theater was filling up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, motherfucker, you better.
I think I don't know why I was like overly obsessed. That was like the time where I was upset that the showing was going to be in 3D. I think I think like that got stuck in my head and I couldn't think of anything else because I was like, God damn it, fucking post processing 3D bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it was bad at that time. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got better at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also makes, I mean, it still kind of makes things dark, but
Well, you got like one cool like shield throw at the camera.
Yeah.
dork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just go ahead and start.
All right.
Yeah, nobody's here. Fuck them.
We can get Mackie the fuck out of here
I appreciate that
'Cause he's
my
got to
wife
go.
appreciates that.
He's got
The
stuff
American-
to
the
When the
American
alarm goes
people
off at
appreciate it.
5:45, I will appreciate that.
He's got a haul of avocados to get to
Yeah.
Utah.
By noon.
Utahns love them avocados.
You know, they make that green dipping sauce
With their Fritos.
Fritos and stuff.
Tastes like green piss to me.
That man has no culture.
It's true. He does not. He lives in Utah.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 459.
So many numbers.
Gall dang.
Yeah. Shucks. So I'm Harlow,
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
and what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks. However, there are bad movies. This is the stay away. They get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags. This is giant bags of trash.
Gross.
Get a
trash.
put them in the garbage truck.
Be
Haul
gone.
that trash
Haul
away.
them away. Yeah, there you
Recycle
go.
it into a better film.
Yes. So, well, I mean, I guess I should take it down a notch because we got to say we decided to sort of. I think this movie's been on our list of things to watch for a while.
We had to finish this triple feature Blu-ray.
Right. Yes, a single-sided triple feature Blu-ray disc that we had, super high quality. With 1975's White Line Fever, in honor of the late great Jan Michael Vincent.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're disputing his lateness
Well,
and greatness.
we did know.
We couldn't do it last week because you weren't here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. But also, like, everyone in this movie has passed away except for Kay Lenz. But
Yeah. Anyway, plot summary. That's what
Yeah.
we should do. Right
Yeah,
here,
we should
right?
do one of those.
Okay.
It is tradition.
In 1970s Arizona, a young married man becomes an independent long-haul driver, and he risks his life fighting the corruption in the local long-haul trucking industry.
yeah.
That's one of the most accurate plot
Yeah.
plot summaries we've had.
Fuck the trucking business forever.
Yes. White
Well, at
Line
least these
Fever.
guys.
The anti-trucking movie.
Yes. Never be a trucker.
Yeah. A cautionary tale.
Don't. Not even once.
There you go. So,
Yeah.
BMFcast alums. Packed. Yeah. Director Jonathan Kaplan of Chuck Turner.
Oh, trucks.
Right.
Yes.
He was very singular-minded.
Yeah. Chuck Turner, a fucking awesome movie.
Uh-huh.
Jan Michael Vincent, of course, of Hooper, Alienator, and Vigilante Force. I feel I could have sworn we had watched more with him, but I guess not.
No.
Yeah, I thought so
It
too.
feels odd. Slim Pickens. He's been in BMFcast Extra with The Swarm and Beyond the Poseidon Adventure.
Like he made the Swarm and Beyond the
Swarm.
Poseidon Adventure.
Yep.
Well, golly.
Bless my ass.
Yeah, there we go. LQ Jones of Lone Wolf McQuade, Bulletproof, Tornado, and Route 666.
What?
Route 666.
66.
Can I say that this is the porniest looking man that we've had on the BMFcast?
he's
Like
LQ Jones.
This is 1975, and I swear to God, he looks basically the same as he does in Tornado from 1996.
yeah, a couple cast members like are as old here as they were in 90s
Yeah.
movies.
Like somewhere, I want to find Dick Miller as a truly young man. Like,
You got to go
No,
like Little
doesn't
Shop of
exist.
Horrors.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like Gene Hackman. He just like emerged from the womb middle-aged.
Yeah.
Sam Laws from Hitman, Cool Breeze, Sweet Jesus Preacher Man, Truck Turner, and Get Crazy. One of those is not like the other.
Yeah. I seem to remember him being really good in Get Crazy as well.
Yes.
Yeah. R.G. Armstrong of The Car, Lone Wolf McQuade, Bulletproof, Ghetto Blaster, and in Extra, Dick Tracy.
He's the other one to where like this is 20 years before we've seen him in anything, and he still looks like he's 70 years old.
Yep. Dick Miller, of course, Truck Turner, Vigilante Force, Get Crazy, Chopping Mall, Route 666, and in Extra, Piranha, Corvette Summer, and Amityville, 1992.
Yeah.
And lastly-
wait, also Did I say Chopping Mall? Was
You did say
Yeah,
Mall?
Chopping
Okay.
Mall's in there.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
And Martin Cove of Steel Justice.
Yeah.
Not dead.
That's true. Right. Yes.
Not dead.
Strange that we have
Wanna
not
know.
had more Martin Cove movies.
It is. I looked over his list twice. Like, is this
Yeah.
right? But
Double checking,
Are
triple
you sure you
checking.
didn't miss something? Because I feel like another one of our extra movies, it was like, oh, there he is in the background or some shit. But, you know. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm not discounting your research.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that's it.
Can I go back to LQ Jones real quick?
You can.
Sure.
Yeah.
His birth name is Justice Ellis McQueen Jr.,
Holy shit.
and he decided
Yeah.
to call himself LQ Jones.
That's
He got some bad advice.
yeah.
He's a dumbass.
Someone told him the wrong thing.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a lot of dudes in this movie.
There is. Yes. The one lady in this film has never been in a BMFcast movie before.
Yep. And probably never will be again.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay.
She's had some
Uh,
genre stuff.
Huh?
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
let's start this off. This movie is 90 minutes. It is one of those movies that keeps going. And it is so packed with stuff. Like, I don't know how long we're going to talk about this because it feels like this movie has like 6 acts. Because you're like, oh, I guess that's going to be the end. And then it's like,
Well,
we're moving on from this.
Well, it starts with a television interview with like the most 1970s like TV host.
Yeah.
You know, really bad plaid suit, just like
Guarantee he was.
Yeah, and just like, yes, I'm standing here, and you know, things normally happen to affluent people in the city, but drama happens out in the country too. And let me introduce you to this trucker guy. And he's like, so you're an independent trucker? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's my own rig. And he's like, oh, okay. So how do you get jobs? He's like, go around and ask for jobs. Okay. And then it's like, then it becomes montage of Jan Michael Vincent returning from Army.
They do foreshadow things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because he says, you got to find an independent contractor to hook you up with the jobs.
Right.
And then they're like, well, what if the jobs are working with the contractors? Then who's in control? And he's like, I think you know the answer.
Yeah. Oh, plus he asked him about, you keep a gun in your truck. He's like, yeah, I got to protect my cab. And how far would you go? He's like, I don't know. You just don't know until you're pushed to the edge. And it's like, and like I said, it's montage of Jan Michael Vincent returning home from the military, war, possibly. We don't know.
They mentioned that he's a pilot at
Yeah.
one point.
He's home from the NAM.
Yeah.
He was piloting Airwolf,
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
the first.
But yeah,
Wolf the first.
he's greeted at the airport by his soon-to-be wife, Kay Lenz, and then his brother, Jim Henson.
Jim Henson, yeah.
It's not actually, but might as well be. It's just montage of like, hey, you're home, and here's all the happy photos and hanging out that we did in the 1970s. And quickly, a wedding happens, and then more photos, and then
they're at the bank.
Yeah, then they're at the bank, like getting a loan to buy his own truck.
Yep.
And they go to buy a truck and make a deal, and suddenly it's like,
I never knew trucks were that expensive.
Trucks are really fucking
I mean,
expensive.
in the '70s, these are like $36,000 trucks.
Yeah,
25. The one he buys is $25,000.
it's about 25,000,
And it's used.
And it's used. It was like a repo, and
His monthly payment is $2,000.
Yeah, so apparently
In
he got,
1975.
apparently he got like a year and a half long lease or
Yeah.
like loan terms or something like that. I mean, it's like, what the hell?
It's like, all right, you'll pay us back in 18 months and everything.
Yeah.
But it's like, whoa.
Yeah, but yeah, and then it's the selling point is the guy's like, yeah, it might not be exactly for you, but I'll throw in a free customized paint job to make it all yours, and apparently that sells him on it.
Oh, yeah.
Here comes the blue mule is what he names his truck around the corner, and he's got his name on the cab and his soon to be I guess she is his wife now. His name on the other side, and it seems like they're gonna do like the husband and wife trucking thing, like because
what
you
it
know
seems
because
like.
Well, her name's on it. Yeah.
right, exactly, but and like they ride around for a minute and like.
He drops her off at home. It's like, well, see, I'm going to go get jobs.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, well, they pull off and like spend a night on the side of the road somewhere because this thing seems to have a sleeper cabin. You never see it. Like there is a.
It definitely does because
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's weird that like you have this truck and there's obviously a curtain partition to something behind it, and people will go back there, but the movie is never like, let's go back there and see what's in there.
He didn't take his wife into the sleeper and sex his wife there. That should have been where their child was conceived.
Yeah.
On
But-
the road.
But yeah,
this
so
movie's not
but-
about that.
But no, it's not at all because it's like, all right,
It's not
you know,
about the sleeper.
We're not doing this as a husband and wife thing. You're going home, and I'm going to go get a job.
Yeah, it's really weird that they, monogram her side of the truck like they are a duo,
Yeah.
and she never once steps foot in the truck ever again.
And they mentioned somehow like she's on the loan too. I don't
I mean,
really
to be
understand that.
fair, that could have been their plan, but it all goes wrong from the first job. Like,
Yeah.
he never has a normal job hauling anything.
The reason, like, the movie just kind of expects you to figure this out eventually because he goes to see Slim Pickens,
Yeah.
who's like, I don't know, I'm not a trucker, and I don't know a lot about trucking.
Okay.
But he seems to be the broker guy. No, I think he owns like the actual like logistics company. Like we store stuff and then we
Yeah.
load up the trailers and go. And then
He's
there's
the importer exporter.
yeah. So like, but he has a past relationship with Jan Michael Vincent's dad.
He and his dad were trucker buddies.
And so like he's kind of got an in like right off the bat. That's
Yeah.
why this is why it's like I've come home from war and I'm going to buy a truck because I have an in and I'm going to get jobs.
Yep.
So of course he walks in and knows like 3 different people, including Pops, who's
Sam Laws.
And
Well, he immediately gets hassled, doesn't he, when he walks in?
no.
No,
Well,
not
I
when he-
mean, well,
or he gets the
Martin,
menacing
Martin
looks.
Cove and
Yeah.
a couple other
gets the stink
chuckle
eye, at
fucks are
least.
outside, like
Yeah.
just like staring him down and stuff.
They're like, hey, is this your truck? The truck you just got out of. And
He's like, as long as the bank says so,
Yeah.
bye. And then it's
yeah, but they're looking at him like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Your company needs this.
right. Yeah, it's
Right off the bat, you guys are fucking up your scheme.
yeah, and then he goes in to meet Slim Pickens, and he's Slim Pickens in it up. He's got this
Oh, man. He's got
fancy
the best
embroidered
jacket on.
like white coat thing with roses and shit on it. And
Yeah, it's real good. But basically, it's just like, I need a job. And he's like, great, here, haul this shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
and
got
they-
you an Arizona special.
Yeah, it's literally crates of shit.
Manure.
And they load up the truck, and he comes out, and Martin Cove is like, take this too, and throws a box at him, which breaks open, and there's cigarettes in it. He's like, I don't know about this.
And then they're also wheeling out a slot machine.
They wheel out an open crate with a slot machine in it. They're like, here, take this too. Like, this is fucking dumb. Like, you guys are bad criminals.
Also, like, okay, if you are going to smuggle this shit
Yeah.
in the shit,
Uh-huh.
put it at the front of
Yeah,
the cab and then
yeah.
load all the shit, because the people that are going to inspect it are going to be like, wow, it's a whole bunch of crates of shit. I'm not going in
I'm
there.
not going in there.
Yeah.
Or even better, you don't even tell him.
Yeah.
Right.
that
you just
too.
you just
Yes.
put it in the fucking
You put
truck.
it in the front.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is real. Their criminal enterprise is terrible, and it gets even worse as the movie goes along.
Yeah, but of course he immediately, like, good guy is like, I'm not hauling that, and
Yeah.
then
I
they're
could
like,
lose my license.
Yeah. He goes
Hey.
back into Slim Pickens' office and is just like, the fuck is this? And Slim Pickens is like, oh, well, this trucking ain't like what it used to be. Now it's all shady and shit. Just do
good
it.
Slim
we're not
Pickens.
here to break the law, we're here to bend it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not quite Pat Buttram. but
he's more
Yeah.
extravagant than that. But yeah, he's just basically like, look, just shut your mouth and do this, okay? That's how this works now. Okay, bye.
But he storms outside and says, take everything out of the
Yeah.
truck.
Take all this shit out.
I'm not doing it.
And he marches across the street to the Mother Truckers bar.
Yep.
you can get Trucker Stew there.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to know what Trucker Stew is.
Nope, you don't.
I
But-
assume it's a venereal disease.
Yeah. He buys Pops a drink.
Yeah.
and
Pops'
try-
son wants nothing to do with
Yeah,
him.
he tries to chat up his son, and his son's like, you don't have to work for him no more. His dad's dead. You're not part of his situation anymore.
He uses more colorful language.
He does,
than that.
yes. But yeah, so they just hang out in this bar for a little bit, and then he walks back across the street, and they have just smeared shit all over the inside of his truck.
Yeah.
Well, the trailer, which is weird
Yes.
because it's not. You don't own the trailer as a trucker.
No,
typically
the
speaking.
trailer's not yours.
That was his trailer because it had Hummer on the side of it. His name's Carol Joe Hummer.
Yeah. Because it said like Hummer and Sons on
Yeah.
it or something.
The trailer was his trailer.
Yeah.
I know, but that's not
it's-
typically how that works.
Usually, no. You
I
just
don't
own the
think
truck,
so.
and then you. they
Trailers
give you
come and
the
go.
trailer.
You just like. I mean, and also you don't like pull your truck up and like wait for them to load. Like you go and pick up a loaded trailer.
Yeah, they've loaded the trailer.
Yeah.
And
They
I
figured out
assume
the
in some
logistics after
circumstances-
1975.
Sure.
Yeah.
I assume in some circumstances that's the way it works. Usually, no. But
Maybe if you're bringing back an empty, like or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but whatever.
But right away, he's like, man, fuck this. And just, it's time to brawl with these boys. And he ends up throwing Martin Cove into the shit-covered truck.
Yep.
Or the back of the truck, basically. It's just like, well, that's what you get, Martin Cove.
Yeah.
Ha-ha.
Yep. And then it's just like
And then he's just driving down the road, and a cop pulls him over. And he knows the guy. He's like, hey, cop, what do you, how's your copping? And it's just like, all
and
right.
he's just doing the whole like, oh yeah, this is an illegal truck. Look at your tire pressure's low and this and come
and
around.
you're
to the side of the
using
ca-
bad words on the CB radio.
Right.
And
He's like, I could haul you in for a bunch of stuff. And he gets a call on the radio. He's like, I got to go take care of that. And then he very sneakily handcuffs Jan Michael Vincent to the truck.
Yeah.
And they struggle for a bit. And he's like, now. And then he just handcuffs him there. He's like, see ya. And he drives away. And then the fucking scumbags pull up.
Yeah. And start beating him up.
Yes.
And eventually Martin Cove just walks up with a tire iron and breaks his ribs.
Yes.
Jan Michael Vincent gets some shots in
Yeah.
for
He
being
does.
handcuffed to a truck.
He does okay for
Yeah.
being one-armed.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then eventually they throw him in the back of the shit-smeared truck and lock him in.
Yep.
In the lovely Arizona sun.
Yep. And he's saved by Pops,
Yes.
who's down the road telling his son a joke
Oh,
that his
man.
son has heard a dozen times.
His son does
And
not want to hear this
His
joke.
son is insistent. He's like, well, you're going to tell me that same joke again, aren't you? And he's like, damn right, it's funny.
It's like, it
He's
was
like-
funny.
You laughed the first time. Why wouldn't you laugh again?
Because I know it already. Yeah, so they have a bit that goes back and forth, and they're like,
it's a good bit.
yeah, and it's like, that's Carol Joe's truck. And he's like, now, Pop, you don't want no part of this. Just keep going. He's like, no, I like the kid. So they open him up and pull him out. And
Yeah, and the way Pops pulls him out, he doesn't throw him over the shoulder, belly, belly over the shoulder.
No,
he throws
he's-
him the other way.
He's got him in like a one-man crowd surfing pose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if a lead singer jumped off the stage backwards, that's what he did.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like he's just over his shoulder.
Like, if you move wrong, you snap this man's back.
Yeah.
yeah,
And he's already got broken ribs.
He does.
Yeah.
Honestly,
they were
that's probably what
okay.
broke. Yeah.
They were probably on the edge, and then this
Right.
man picked him up like that, and he just went.
But yeah, and then he just apparently we don't see the hospital trip or anything like that. He's just bandaged up at home, and
Yeah, he's
can't
making
work.
some chili, and his wife's working at the Dr Pepper plant.
Well, he's making shitty spaghetti is what he's
His
making.
wife-
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
His wife hates.
His wife's working
working
at a Dr Pepper plant, which I don't understand because like 1 in 10 cans is like I don't know what system
it's
it is.
more
More
than
than that.
It's
One
like
in
at least
3.
half of them get
But-
knocked off the thing.
Yeah, it's like I guess it's like the reject. I guess they have some sort of
It weighs them,
scanner.
probably.
So
Yeah.
dumb. The rejects are getting kicked into a barrel.
Yeah.
And she's picking them out of that barrel and putting them in
Yeah.
yet another barrel.
Yeah.
It's
It's like, why don't you just wait till that barrel's full, move it out of the way, and put another barrel in that place? Like, what is this movement of?
They hadn't figured out the logistics yet.
No, they had.
Much like the trucking industry, like nobody understood logistics.
Yeah.
In 1975.
But she stops for like 1 second and is just like, this job fucking sucks. And immediately a supervisor is like, we're paying you to reject Dr. Pepper, please.
Man,
Get on it.
How times have not changed.
Yeah. It's like,
The stories I could tell you, friend.
I'm just going to not work for a second.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
I see you not working.
Yeah.
do work. So yeah, she goes home and she bitches about having spaghetti again. And he's like, I'm
Yeah.
a dude in the 70s. I
Uh-huh.
don't, this is a luxury.
Yeah.
there are only like 3 dudes in the 70s who know how to cook, and
If
they're
I
all
came
on
home
TV.
to spaghetti, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I've made you ketchup noodles.
Well, yeah.
That's probably what it was. Is ketchup.
Yeah. But they kind of have like a itty bitty fight, and then it's just like, let's just have sex.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
do.
And around this time is when Slim Pickens introduces us kind of to L.Q. Jones's character.
Buck.
Yeah. Buck, who's just like
A fuck.
where he goes into Buck's office and he's like, "Did you have to break his ribs?
Yeah.
Guy's practically family."
He's a good kid.
Yeah. And he's like, "Yeah, but I don't like him."
Yeah, fuck that kid.
So-
Well, he offers to pay him like he's like, how many ribs did he break? Is it worth like 100, 200, 300 per rib? He's like, oh hell, I didn't come here for money.
You leave him alone.
Yeah.
And then he's basically like he's banned. Like he can't eat.
Yeah, he gets blacklisted
Yeah.
Yeah.
completely.
He goes
Everywhere he goes.
He's just like, you got any work? They're like, sure do. What's your name? It's Billy Joe or Carol Joe. And,
Carol Joe.
and they're like, oh shit, the work just left. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, we only work on yearly contracts, and the year starts
Yep.
later in the year.
Right. They all have real dumb excuses.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, that truck
Yeah, eventually they just
evaporated.
give up, and they just have him walking up to guys, and guys going, shaking their head
No, no work. Get out of
Yeah.
here. So he does what any logical, normal person would do. He gets a shotgun and goes back to the original place of employment and demands a truckload of stuff.
Well, I mean, he's obviously figured it out. Like, he's gotten blacklisted from this son of a bitch who's already had his ribs broken.
Yes, but Jesus Christ. This is an extraordinary step this early in the film. We're only about 15 minutes
hey.
in.
They tell you to go big in your interview.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be a memorable interview.
Yeah, this guy's he's
If
a
you
real
want the
go-getter.
job.
Yeah,
He is.
he's gung ho.
Uh-huh.
See, this is what all these millennials and Gen Z kids don't do. They don't go after a job with a shotgun.
No. Yeah.
That's what employers are looking for. That's what will make it in America.
Yeah.
If you just pull yourself up by your shotgun straps.
Yeah. You got to know the gauge of someone's character.
Yes. Millennials are taking your employer hostage.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just applying for jobs and expecting to be hired on
Yeah,
like
but
fucking
he
merit or something.
he basically comes into Slim Pickens' office with the shotgun. He's like, "Give me a job."
Yeah. And
What,
some
what do
pigs-
you, and he's like, "I had nothing to do with it.
yeah,
It
just,
wasn't me."
I like you, boy.
Yeah.
We'll go see Buck.
And he's like, who did?" He's
Yeah.
like, "Buck."
Yeah.
And so they bring him in. And
He's
then-
like, I can't give you a job because Buck killed me. He's like, who's Buck? He's like, take me to Buck.
Right.
And Buck's being gross to a secretary.
He's always got a secretary like sitting on the desk that he's flirting
This
with. or
one is
whatever.
just standing in the middle of his office, slowly inching her skirt up, and he's like, higher. And she's like, inch. And he's like, higher. It's like, we know what the end game in here is, lady. What are you doing?
And he's holding a big knife.
Yes. Yep, just
Yeah.
behind his ear, just like, yep, got a knife. But then, yeah, Jan Michael Vincent throws
Yeah, but
open the
he
door.
plays it pretty cool for having a shotgun in his face. Jim Michael Vince is just like, "It's a work order. Sign it."
Yeah. He's like, all right, I'll fucking say.
Yeah.
You know, it's cash on delivery.
And now this is Yeah, and this is supposed to be a trip to Dallas with something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, this is the part of the movie that I really don't understand.
There's a time jump here.
There's a time jump that I think got cut or
Yeah.
something
Yes.
because, he hops in. Well, he has to. There's a whole scene of like him getting out with the shotgun because like people keep trying to jump him. It's like, why the fuck are you gonna jump a guy with a shotgun? Just let him go.
Yeah.
But and he ends up like backing up to the truck and is like, Pops, come on, let's go. You're riding shotgun, literally. And so he throws the shotgun to Pops. Starts up the truck and they basically get away. Now Martin Cove was like on top of the trailer, ready to jump on him. And
He was going to bulletproof off the
Yeah.
top of that truck,
He
but they
cut-
caught him immediately.
yeah.
Like, nah.
Well, because like at this point, like Dick
Pops
Miller and
points
everyone
it
else
out.
is like, hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone's kind of suddenly on his side. Like, yeah, we like your gumption with the shotgun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they get away, and then like sort of a kind of face turn minorly for Slim Pickens is like he runs up alongside him in his car, and he's like, "You gotta hurry up and get out of the state. You got people everywhere. They're gonna chase you down.
They're coming. Oh,
Yeah,
Lord,
they're
they're
coming.
coming.
And when he says they have people everywhere in the state, like it's what they said, one truck,
Yes.
like one truck without the trailer.
One very determined truck.
Yeah.
Because this truck gets taken out like 3 times
Mm-hmm.
and keeps. It's like the truck from Duel. It just keeps coming back. So yeah, they have this kind of. This is when like the hillbilly disco music starts.
Oh God, it's so good.
Yeah, trucker funk.
Yeah.
Funk grass,
Yes.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The soundtrack.
It's like you imagine banjos and harmonica, but like with like fucking sweet ass bass lines.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing fucking slaps in the midsection. I mean, this thing's really going for it. So it's basically a battle between them in their truck and this green truck without a trailer on it. And they do all the,
Well, they're playing. They like start playing chicken first.
They do
and
play
then-
chicken first.
and then it's like they get alongside, and they're like trying to run each other off the road.
at one point, they just aim a shotgun at them and are going to just flat out murder them. And he slams on the brakes, which is exactly what you should do.
Yep.
And it works.
Yeah, you hit the
And-
brakes, they fly right by.
Yeah. And they do. They just keep on driving.
Yeah, and then they try to back out into the road, and he just
He clips like the
clips
the
them.
wheels on
Yeah.
the back, and
But
which just spins their truck all around.
yeah.
But
it doesn't fuck up the axle or anything.
No.
They
No.
can still use the truck.
But he tells Pops, take the wheel. And he just Indiana Jones is out of this truck up onto the hood and then onto the back.
And does
of the,
combat rolls down the length of this truck
he does.
top for no reason.
Yep. And this truck is moving at speed.
Yeah.
There's a man on the back of this truck doing combat rolls.
This son of a bitch was just like, if I'm up here, I'm going to do this.
Yep. And so he like lays flat and is going to shoot this truck when it comes up behind them again. But then when it does come up behind them, he jumps down and is hanging off the side of this truck and shotguns that truck to where it's like it
Yeah,
incapacitates
he
the truck.
shoots it in the grill and then shoots the driver.
Yes.
No, but he didn't shoot anyone directly because two guys jumped out of it. Because basically,
It
Yeah,
looks like
but
it
I
should have
mean,
hit
like
the
the,
driver.
bullet
Should
hit
have,
is
yeah.
right where the driver
It was
should
center
have been.
mass where that driver
Yeah.
was. Like that driver should be dead.
and
but
the hanging off the side thing, that's style points, man. You gotta earn style points.
flourish.
Yeah. But yeah, it hits it in the he hits it right directly in the engine block or whatever, and
It slams into the side of the road.
two guys jump out and basically
It
explodes.
explodes. Not a huge explosion, but enough to where it's
Good
like,
enough.
yeah, that truck's never operating again.
He was a truck burner.
Dun-dun, dun-dun.
That was a good one.
And
And that's where it just jumps to the
this
next
is where the
time
weird
period. Like,
cut is because
Yeah, they're like, yeah. And
someone
then all of a
calls.
sudden,
Well, someone
Well,
calls Buck.
we see they hit the New Mexico state line, and they're
Right.
like, "Oh, they're free" or whatever.
Yeah, but someone calls Buck and is like, "Hey, we never got that shipment of whatever it was."
cigarettes.
Yes,
and slot machines.
and you're like, "The hell is going on?" And so then it cuts to they have pulled over. We even mentioned that Dick Miller is one of the truckers.
He's one of the,
Yeah.
he's like I said, he was like
Yeah.
one of the people he
It's-
met when he first went there.
It's Dick Miller and this other guy who are just trucker buddies who go to, and the shithead sheriff has pulled them over and has handcuffed them to their truck.
but-
can we watch Trucker Buddies in August?
I would love to watch Trucker Buddies. That would be a great.
but the sort of tell is that it's the same trailer hooked to their truck this time.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the trailer that they left with. Because
Okay.
it's like it's got the big like Red River.
Yes.
It's got like the reverse R logo, sort
Yeah.
of like a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so they're handcuffed to the truck, and the shitheads pull up again, and it's like, okay, now we're gonna beat up Dick Miller and the other guy. They beat up the other guy and kind of leave Dick Miller alone, and then they're like, "Oh, open up the they just open up the back. We're gonna fuck with the whatever's in the truck." They open up the back of the truck, and it's Jan Michael Vincent and Pops,
Right.
and another person. and they
I
jump
think it was
out.
his brother. I think it's Jim Henson, the brother.
Okay.
I think they enlisted
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah. And they just
Which
beat
is-
the fuck out of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And
Oh, and
Pops has
the sheriff is around the corner because like they're beating the shit out of like Martin Cove and everybody.
Yes.
Those shitheads.
blackhead guy
and the sheriff's got the gun on Dick Miller and the other trucker dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then like he's like, "What's going on back there?" and is like walking back with his gun. And Pops just sort of like leans out the back. He never actually dove out of the truck because he just hung out in the back of the truck with the shotgun
Yep.
and basically just like around the corner like and then. I just like that the sheriff takes off like, oh no,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I think it's Dick Miller trips him. It's
Yes,
just,
he does.
it's just a good little like whoop.
Yep. Yeah, so
Then they go out. They go to a honky tonk. They're like, "Fuck yeah, we did it. We took it to the man."
they have basically unionized at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The movie never calls it. They never fully explain what's happening, but basically, all the nice truckers have decided they're not hauling the dumb bullshit anymore.
Yes.
What I don't understand is why isn't Clem and those other fucktards driving the illegal bullshit? Their only job seems to be hang out at this place and menace everyone. If they need criminals to haul their shit, they've got criminals on their payroll.
Well, they're just hauling guys. They don't have their truckers' licenses. I'm guessing.
They
Yeah,
own the
maybe-
whole fucking state.
Well,
Was what we eventually learned. You can fake their fucking driver's license.
Again, maybe. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, there's some bad
They
planning.
hadn't figured the logistics
Yeah.
out yet. It's 1975.
Yes,
These criminals
the logistics
are
were
bad.
not quite set.
And also, at some point, you got to go. Man, I admire the cut of your jib, Jam Uncle Vincent. You're a better criminal than us,
Yeah,
and we're
just
not going to
have
fuck
him
with
haul
you
your
anymore.
normal shit.
Yeah,
Like,
get some other rube to come in there and haul your your slot machine that you shouldn't have showed him in the first place.
Yep.
But yeah, so they're
yeah.
just partying at the honky tonk, and Buck is in there, and this is it's like is
Well, they
this
were.
the-
I like they were having a dance.
Yeah.
You know, like J. Michael Vincent's dancing with his wife, and everyone's having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they like finish the song, and everyone's like clapping, and then like he does the continue to clap sarcastically after for a while until
Like
everyone's like,
crowd
"Oh, look, it's
hears.
Buck."
yeah.
And I don't really understand it. Like he goes to the one table that seems like they're still like we're not really with Jan Michael Vincent, and he's like, "You having a good time?" And like no, everybody's like, and he's like, "All right, we'll see you later." It's like those are the guys that are still with you, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Why are you menacing them?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, and Jan Michael Vincent tells him he's more afraid of you than you are of him.
Yeah, he's trying to persuade them still. They haven't flipped yet. But Buck also makes a point to go over to Jan Michael Vincent and his wife, and it's just like, "Oh, is this the lovely Mrs. Jan Michael Vincent? Huh? Menace, menace, menace." It's just like,
Mrs. Hummer.
yes. And it's just like, oh, please, dear God. First of all, thank you for being a PG film. Because you know what would happen if it wasn't.
Yeah. It should also be noted that they have a dog
They
throughout
do.
the entire montage.
First act.
And when she comes home from work from the Dr. Pepper rejection plant,
Yep.
and we never see that dog again.
No, we don't.
No, the dog went on to live on a farm.
That dog
Be happy
knew
somewhere else.
exactly what was going down. That dog took the fuck off.
Yeah, he's like Ruckers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So ba 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 ba.
Yeah. Then it's like, how are they gonna fuck with him this time? Because I don't remember what the first like, let's fuck with him. Oh, I think he. Is this when he,
This is the
think
avocado run.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say like I think this is like when she's like, I hate my job and I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna fake my resume.
Yeah, she's trying to get a job at a daycare or a
as
nursery school teacher.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the first question she asks is, "What college did I go to?" And he says, "You didn't
didn't
go
go
to
to
a
no
college."
college.
And she's like, "Oh yeah." And it's like,
And then she starts typing.
and it's like, wait, that was a serious question? Like you weren't just asking what college should I fake on this resume? She was actually asking what college did I go to?
Listen, it was 1975.
Yeah.
They hadn't figured out transcripts yet.
Well, also, I mean,
I think you would know though if you went to college.
The logistics were not there yet to be able to send the transcripts from one school to
okay.
the other.
I see.
It was 1975,
I'm
Chuck.
gonna
You're
say that this movie does her no favors because
Oh no.
because like at one point when she's sick of her Dr. Pepper rejection job, she's like, I don't want to do this. I want to do something with my brain. And then not 2 minutes later, she's like, what college did I go to? And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't think you have any
Yeah.
brain.
I think
That's-
that Dr. Pepper plant is all the brain you're capable of,
Yeah.
honey.
I think you might have an extra chromosome.
Thank God you're cute, sweetie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, she's trying to type up her fake resume. He gets a call. A truck is jackknifed hauling avocados. It's got to get to Utah. They'll pay him $2,000.
Yeah.
And he's like, shit, we
Yeah,
owe
this is Slim
$2,000.
Pickens calling him.
Yeah.
And then he's basically just like, man, he better be on the level.
Yeah.
I still don't know if I
He's
trust
like-
him.
And,
Yeah.
and plus, it's like it's a time thing. Like you have 30 hours, and that's because
You got to be there. It's like
or they're just going to spoil. You know this.
by noon in 2 days or something like that. I think they said noon tomorrow, but
The way the movie portrays it, it's like it makes it feel like he's on the road for like a week.
Yeah.
Because it just
He gets the white line fever.
Yeah. Well, he's like driving and like falling asleep, and he has to go to the.
Well,
he goes to the
okay,
he goes to the
okay,
Triple T
hold
truck
on.
stop.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he's like, I got to do this long haul. This will solve all our problems. I'll see you. And when this is happening, you're like, okay, first of all, she needs to leave town, and that dog needs to go to protective custody right away.
right. She should have gone with him.
Yes, but what happens is that he's like, see ya, and she's like, okay, and she turns around to go back inside, and she's holding a beer, and she drops it, and it's just like, and you're like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
did they poison the beer? And then,
Or did she turn around and see the dead dog, or you know,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
Because the next scene is him in the truck at night, dozing off.
yeah, very tired. Like the road is blurring, and he's just like,
Well, he's
"Oh,
driving
man."
like down the center of a 2-lane highway,
Right.
And another truck is coming up behind him, and like he's like, "Hey, buddy, you got the white line fever?"
Yeah.
You know, he's
Wake
like,
the
"You
fuck up."
He's like, "Yeah, oh man, where's the next truck stop?" He's like, "The Triple T's 2 miles down the road."
Yeah, it's the longest triple T, but yeah, they get there.
Yeah, we had a ratio. They finally
Our
got there.
time to truck stop ratio.
But yeah, he gets there and like hangs out and
get-
he actually he
He
sits with
meets the guy from the very
yeah,
beginning of the
yeah.
movie.
And the guy's like, "Oh shit, you're Carol Joe. Well, this shit food's on me, son. See ya."
That's some free diarrhea, son.
Yeah. And he's like, "All right."
Yeah.
So I don't even know what the point of that scene was. He
gets coffee.
He coffees up and just goes back out on the road.
Yeah. And then we see a whole lot of Utah.
Oh man, we see all of Utah.
Well, actually, probably not Utah because this movie at the end says it was filmed entirely in Arizona.
Yeah.
So.
Salt
it's-
Lake to Provo to Ogden.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all I know is there's a whole lot of mountains and a whole lot of snow.
Yeah.
And I think they just really liked that scene.
Sure.
That scenic. Because
Well,
there's
this was the
long shots of the truck.
Yeah.
It goes on for a long time.
It was,
was
it
the-
was pure snow. Do you have any idea the street value of that mountain?
White line fever.
No, it had hit the air.
Yeah.
Remember, it
Oh,
had
right.
spoiled.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. But if you harvest it from the sky,
Yeah.
does it go bad until you like?
You got to
before
put it. You got to put it in a bag and then don't open that bag.
right because you harvest it there and then you cut it with something, and that's what makes it go
Right.
bad,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We know all about.
I think it's the
cocaine.
cutting agents they use. I think pure snow
Yeah.
is
Pure
fine.
snow is
yeah.
okay.
Listen, it was 1975. They had not figured out the logistics of getting the
of
drugs
the true
correctly
white line
and not
fever,
letting
yeah.
it spoil.
Yeah. Yeah. So he gets to his destination, and the guy's like, "Ah, you're 30 minutes late," and he's like, "Yeah, whatever," and he's like, "Yeah, you're whatever. You're right."
He's like, yeah, that's pretty good time anyway, man.
Yeah. So they're like, "All right, let me sign your thing," and the guy goes into the truck. Is like, "These are shitty avocados, man."
Well, not before asking, like, the hell's an avocado? Is that what they make that green dip Mexican stuff? They
Put them
dip their Fritos in and stuff? And
Yeah, my wife likes it. I think it tastes like green piss.
They never say guacamole.
No, they don't.
No.
No. It was
They
1975.
had not figured out the
They had not
logistics
named.
of guacamole yet. I understand.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is exactly how this works.
Sorry. I apologize.
Yeah. But a guy comes out and is like, "Well, shit, these things fucking suck."
Yeah, and they're like all like just smushed and like hollowed out, like someone had already made the avocado,
Yeah.
like the guacamole out of them.
Yeah. And so they
The guy's like,
Guy's like, that's a
waste
hell
of diesel.
wasted diesel.
Yeah, and so the
Bye.
camera zooms in on Jan Michael Vincent as he realizes he's been had, and this movie is very good at dramatic zoom ins. Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh well, okay. So there's actually a whole lot of really good transitions throughout this movie.
Yes.
Because one of them, in the middle of his driving through the snow in Utah, is he hits the snow plow, which goes like all white into the camera, into a white door opening up, and it's Mrs. Hummer at the
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood, basically.
Yep.
And it's like, yep, she's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
And there's another scene where she meets with the brother, like, I don't know if I want to have this baby, and
Yeah, I should probably not have it because
Yeah, she basically asks him to borrow money so she can get an abortion.
Yeah. She's like, "We're gonna have a family, but not yet because the mob is everywhere."
Yeah.
It's not even that. Like she never mentions
No,
that.
that's
It's
true,
like
yeah.
he's gonna work all the time.
Yeah. Right.
And I'll have to quit my job at the Dr. Pepper plant to raise this child.
She was like the proto '80s cop wife, really. I mean, if you think about it, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's complaining about him working all the time
Okay,
before he's
Here
working
is the
all
thing
time.
about her.
Uh-huh.
She is a total wet blanket character. However, she's right. She is 1,000% right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
They need to leave that town.
Yes.
Never come back.
Yes.
Say fuck it. Start your family literally anywhere else in the country. Because you know what? You got a truck. You can drive there.
Yes.
Leave.
yeah. Just
They could go to Oklahoma.
You can ship on the East Coast
I mean-
all you want because these guys don't give a fuck if you're
apparently,
out there.
apparently the problem is picking shit up in Arizona. So go to New Mexico,
Yeah,
get a load,
Yeah.
and move the fuck to Pennsylvania or somewhere. You know, like
Yeah.
you just one way like load, and then we're here now.
Because she may not have gone to college. However, she's smart enough to know, get the fuck out of this town.
Apparently, they're near I-10, so you
Yeah.
could just pick up a load bound for Florida and go there.
No,
never come back.
nobody should move to Florida. Like,
They should have. It would have been better than this.
is it though? I mean, then,
Yes.
I don't know.
In this instance,
Okay, fine.
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
But
But
they
anyway,
don't,
yeah, he gets back to like they
Yeah,
just go from hey, man, that's a waste of diesel to him just drinking at the bar going, man,
Well-
they fucked me over and I just ate the diesel.
Something happens before we see him at the bar because
Yes.
so Slim Pickens' secretary has been seen with Buck earlier, and Buck is like, "Are you still on board? And you're gonna do
basically like, are you still fucking Slim Pickens so
Yeah.
that we can control him?
Right. So they are driving somewhere, and Slim Pickens is being gross. And she's like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, where are we going? And she's like, oh, it's a surprise. You'll see. So 3 semis show up and push them off the road.
Yeah.
Dangerously push them off the road. Like the
Well,
rear semi.
They box him in. It's not. It's the really crazy dangerous part is like when they actually come to a stop.
Yes, because one almost doesn't.
Yeah, they almost like sandwich him between the two semis.
Yeah. So immediately, all the pieces of shit who work for Slim Pickens basically get out, start menacing him. They chloroform him or something.
No, they are holding him like they're
No, they,
like.
they do have something to drug
well, I think
him.
they. Oh, okay. I thought they just shoved a rag in his mouth or some shit. But
Well,
maybe
I'm pretty sure they drug him because
Okay.
what they do is they take him over to the other lane and stand him there, and then another truck comes along and murders him.
Wipes
It's one
him
of
out.
the. It's one of the 3 original trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
that's a hell of a scene. Like,
Yeah.
and that's a hell of a shot because it looked like
Yeah.
it looked great.
Yeah.
he was extra slim, and there'll be Pickens in him off the road.
That was my joke.
Yeah, it was at this point where my bloodlust was on fire. Like, I was just like, holy God, murder these men.
Well, yeah, and it's also I was like very confused at that point because I was like, because they had established that like, oh man, Jan Michael Vincent needs to take that fucker out for fucking him over again.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like Martin Cove and all his guys are murdering him, and you're like, wait, did they switch sides? Did they join up with Jan Michael Vincent? What's going on? Mm-hmm. This is revealed in the next scene, of course, but at the moment I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Because the next scene is him drinking at the bar going, man, they fucked me over, but I didn't say anything. Just couldn't deal with it. And suddenly the cop is in there arresting him for the murder of Slim Pickens.
Yep, and then it's a whole grand jury. Like, well, he has a public defender, and they're like,
Well, so Pops gets him a lawyer, and he's like, this guy won the big case in
"Is it a, like,
Barbasol
okay.
or whatever." Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought he was just a public
Good old
defender.
Barbasol, Arizona.
Yeah,
And he's just like, he's explaining like, okay, here's your 2 choices. You can go in front of they can convene the grand jury. You can accept their indictment and go to a work prison for
basically,
6
like
months.
it's manslaughter versus murder.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
you can just say not guilty and you're going to jail forever. What's it going to be? So cut to grand jury.
Yeah.
And so this has all come about because there's been a shady steam room meeting with a whole bunch of old white fucks.
Yeah, it turns out
And
Buck
Buck.
isn't even like the the guy in charge. There's a
He's the lowest level in this group of old white fucks,
Yeah.
one of whom is R.G. Armstrong, who says, we could take care of this my way. And his way is apparently he's the district attorney of town. And so
Framing him for murder.
And he's framing him for murder in front of this grand jury. They've brought in a phony witness who is just like, yeah, I saw him. He totally
Yeah.
murdered that guy.
I was out there buying real estate.
I came into some money and I was buying some land. And then they bring in Hummer's wife, Mrs. Hummer. And she just basically gets in there and kind of says everything they want her to say. But then she's like, they're making me do this. I'm doing this. I'm saying all these things because I don't want him to go to jail. He didn't do this. This is what I'm saying. You have to believe me. And they do.
And they do.
They don't indict him.
Well, she says, like, they're going to keep coming after him.
Right.
I just want to leave this town.
Well, she mentions
I just want to go.
He got his ribs broken and beat up as soon as he's tried to, start getting into this business, and he didn't kill him.
We just want to leave, and our only option is to take this 6-month deal and leave, and that's why I'm saying these things. And so that's enough for this jury to go, no, we believe you. And then there's this trucker network of everyone just getting on the CVs is like, he's free, Hummer's free, yay! And
honk for Hummer,
right?
Which that's good life advice there, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, so he has an argument with her on the way home.
Yes.
Because he's like, man, I'm out. Now I can really get everyone to unionize and do the trucking thing. And she's like, do you fucking understand anything? Like, what the fuck, you idiot? No, we can leave now. We can get out of here. We can start our family.
We can leave. We can both
literally
leave.
anywhere else.
Yeah, he's like,
and
no,
he's like,
I can finally drive here now.
Yeah, yeah, everything's going to be great now.
I can drive for what used to be Slim Pickens' criminal enterprise.
Yeah, I own that now, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, do you not hear what I'm saying? And he's like, duh. And she's like, I'm getting out of this truck.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, because she's like, she's hinting like, I don't want to have to raise your kid, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, yeah, well, we're going to have kids. And she's like, you don't understand what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. She gets out, starts walking down the street, and he's just like, hey, get in here. And about, 20 steps later, she does get back in.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's basically like, but listen, I should just, because you're a dumb man and you haven't heard anything I've said.
they bother to get all the way home, I think, but doesn't she?
Because when they get home is when
well, yeah,
everything
they
is
get
even
home,
worse.
and then they're about to get romantic when they get home.
Yeah.
By the time they get home, and I guess she's told him.
She told him on the way home.
Yeah, yeah. But
Because
then they get there, and he's like, well, maybe we can have twins. Boom. And they're heading back to the bedroom, and Pops is dead with a tire iron through his face.
Yeah, but his truck was already fucked up outside.
Yeah, the truck was fucked up
That's
at some
right.
point, too. Yeah.
They pull up, they see the truck has been just fucked up. And
No, that's later.
Is it?
Yes, it's later because they...
No, because Pops is the final motivation for them to go.
Yeah, that's what sets
Okay.
them off.
They find him. They have gone inside after discovering the truck, and he goes and finds a rattlesnake in the.
Yeah. There's a rattlesnake in the cab, and he shotguns it. Well, first
Yeah,
he takes the shotgun and gets the rattlesnake out, and then shoots it.
Well, yeah, this movie has so many things going on, but
Right.
they would not have been getting romantic if his truck had just been fucked up.
Right.
And they find Pops when they're about to get romantic.
They've gone inside. They're like, well, okay, there's
Yeah.
nothing terrible in here. Let's go in the bedroom. And they go into the bedroom, and you see it in the mirror. You
Yeah.
see Pops with the tire iron in his mouth.
I still feel like the romantic time did happen after the truck because it was like, oh, geez. And then she's just like, I'm pregnant. And he's like, oh, all right. Can't get more pregnant, so let's go.
Yeah.
You know?
Twins.
Yeah.
But they can have twins.
Oh, yeah, that's not the logistics
You
of that
just-
is not correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
You just keep loading them up.
you know
It was
what?
1975.
We thought it still worked that
Yeah.
way back then.
Oh, but yes, they find Pop's dead. They're screaming, and then
Yes.
it's murder time.
Yes, it is. Because Buck and company are having a little party.
A little trucking sex party
Yeah.
back at Red
Yeah.
River Trucking Logistics Enterprise compound.
And
Yeah,
Buck is wearing a black leather suit, but it's just a shirt and pants.
It's not. No, it's satin. It's like
Is it?
tight.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's weird because I had to
I
to
thought
look
it was
at it.
leather.
I thought it was
for
vinyl.
sure
I was
it was
pretty-
leather.
It was somewhere in that leather vinyl. I mean, this film's a little grainy, but
Yeah.
it's shiny and black.
Yes. But so
Looks
the
like
sun.
satin. Feels
Yeah,
like leather.
Pop's son comes in and is like, and he's like, "Oh, I know
I'm
why
here.
you're here."
And Buck
Revenge.
is like, yeah, and it's like, no shit, you know why
Yeah,
he's
and he's
there,
like,
Buck.
and Pop's son goes, "Where I'm from, they call it justice."
Uh-huh.
And then everyone
all
piles
the
in,
truckers,
all
yeah,
of the
right.
trucker
They just
buddies.
open the door, and all the trucker buddies run in.
Jan
and
Michael
just-
Vincent immediately tackles Buck, and this leads to a chase through the warehouse where they're trying to climb on top of everything.
Well, Buck goes and gets a fucking forklift and tries to murder Jan Michael Vincent
Well,
with it.
long before that, I mean, there's a full-on Donnybrook happening in
Yes.
this thing because
Everyone's
there's-
getting wrecked.
There's people being thrown through windows. Someone grabs some sort of like framed, glass framed picture
just like
and
a
smashes
Miller sign and smashes it over
somebody.
someone's head.
Yeah, and it's not until for being the scumbag guy possibly wearing leather pants, he's pretty spry. Like when he wants to get
Yes.
away, he's fast.
The movement in this suit is pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe he had they were action jeans, action leather pants.
Yes.
But yeah, because his first move is he jumps up on some of the shipping containers, and Jan Michael Vincent's trying to follow him, and then he's scurrying along pipes and stuff like that. And there's one point where they're
big long chase.
yeah, there's a big long chase sequence, but there's one point where they're between two giant stacks of
Crates.
shipping container crates
This
and
is
stuff.
fucking WWE ladder match bullshit
Yeah.
because he is going across the monkey bars
Yeah,
to
he's
get
trying
it,
to monkey bar across an I-beam.
and basically Jan Michael Vincent spears him in the air as he's doing that, and they both fall through a million crates.
Yep.
And
That's when he's all right, it's forklift time, I think.
the forklift
No, that
is
was-
what got
Forklift
them
was
to the
earlier? Oh,
crates.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
They left the bar and got over to the trucking company, and that's when that was happening. But then it's a long, slow chase of Jan Michael Vincent chasing Buck until they finally trap him.
But
And-
there's not to discount it. There's some dangerous shit happening with that forklift.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely. And also, Jan Michael Vincent is not the most competent fighter because every once in a while he will just take a smack to the face as he's chasing this guy. He's going up a fence and he's like, I'm going to get you. And he just gets kicked in the face.
Yeah, there's a lot of sloppy fighting. in
He
this
also
movie.
he also whiffs a couple punches, very clearly whiffs on Martin Cove one time.
Well, I don't even mean from a filmmaking
yeah.
standpoint. I just mean he is not a murdering badass.
Oh, no, no,
He's
no,
just
no.
I'm filled with furious
Yeah, yeah.
anger. I might get a few blows in, but you're probably tougher than I am.
Yeah.
But they basically trap him. And
between two trucks.
And Jan Michael Vincent basically punches him in the ear, and that's what takes Buck out. Buck's done.
Well, he punches him in the ear and he falls into the gas tank of one of the trucks.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
clang, and then they have to hold back Pops' son from murdering him.
Which they should not have done.
Nah,
Should have
probably
let
not.
him. Should have let him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has the most motivation in this scene.
He should. I mean, honestly, he should have been able. They should have let him just beat the ever loving shit out of that guy. Jan Michael Vincent should have held him while Pops' son. I'm sorry, I forget his name.
Sons.
Sons. Just whip the tar out of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
unfair.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's been a scene where the evil white cabal has done more evil white shit on a golf course, and they're just establishing that it's this corporation that's doing all this shit. Basically, Jan Michael Vincent and Kay Lenz go back home, and they have another moment of potential sexy time,
Well,
and they do.
yeah, they go to they actually have their meeting. All of the after they beat up Buck.
Yes.
They all get together and they have their meeting with the head honcho white dudes.
At this place called Glass House.
Where he's basically like, hey, you know what? You can just replace those guys. You can run your loads the way you want to run them.
Yeah.
You'll just work for us.
They all march through these gates to get into this
Yeah,
weird
and-
matte painting building, and
Yeah, but
A matte painting building with it has a really bizarre metal logo of GH for the glass house.
yeah, but it's huge.
It's huge, and it clearly has a ramp.
it does.
Just it clearly has a ramp going up to it, and it's
yeah.
But
That might play into
But the
it
thing
later.
is they're going through these gates, and this is such a weird sign with the weird matte painting building that they then have a shot where they walk past the sign. And I was like, oh wait, the sign was real because everything behind it was so fake. That
yeah,
I was
you
like,
figured the building
yeah.
is real.
like,
They just
where's
matted that in.
where's
there.
the real part? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a whole thing where it's like, hey, he pulls Jan Michael Vincent aside. He's like, hey, what you seem like a smart guy. All the evil people are out of this. Obviously, you've taken care of them.
Yeah.
I like the way you handled that. So
Why don't you do crimes
why don't you
with
work,
us?
Why don't you work with me and we'll get you going. And he basically goes back in the room and he's like, all right, guys, they offered me a job, but what say you? What do you want to do? You want to work for
It's
them?
like,
or
do you want to work for them or work
be
for
independent?
ourselves?
Yeah. And this meeting, so it's all the evil rich white fucks on one side of the table. It's all the truckers on the other side. And they've got cocktail waitresses and just
In
scantily
Playboy
clad
bunny outfits.
Yeah, in this corporation. It's like, what fucking 1975 corporation is this?
Look,
that
they hadn't figured out the logistics
I-
of human resources yet.
He's right.
It's true.
Yeah.
It did not exist in
No,
1975.
it didn't. So anyway, Jan Michael Vincent gives his speech like, well, we could do crimes or we could, not. What say you know how I feel? What say you?
Yeah.
And no
Which
one's-
they all kind of look around like, we don't know how you feel because
Yeah.
they just offered you a whole lot of money. So how do you feel?
right, but it's all just kind of understood that
Yeah.
they all said fuck you.
Yeah, and then he does this thing. He's like, well, it's a big state. There's
14 counties.
14 counties in Arizona, really?
Yeah.
I guess
The counties in Arizona are like a big checkerboard.
I guess so. But yeah, he's like, I guess we can control 13 of them. We'll be fine. You guys have fun.
Yeah, and he says, we don't want to compete with you, sir.
Yeah.
and they leave.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's
They're like,
when he
good day
goes.
to you, sir.
Yeah, and
sorry
that's-
to ask you to do crimes for us. We will see you later.
But yeah, he and the wife go home, and they're like, basically, all right, more sexy time.
Yep, let's have the sex.
Time
and
for a
then
nap.
Pass out after the sex.
Yep.
But then
But then you hear someone sneak in with pantyhose over their head, who hits him in the head with the tire iron, hits her like in the chest with the tire iron.
Yeah.
hits her in the stomachal area.
Yeah, and then lights the room on fire and basically is going to burn their fucking house down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wakes up in the nick of time.
Would this be a fuck burner?
Holy shit.
I don't know. Just asking.
Anyway, he's able to get her outside.
Yeah.
They collapse like a man with an afro rolls around on the ground who's been lit on fire because they couldn't find a stuntman who looked anything like Jan Michael Vincent who was willing to be lit on fire.
This man had a lot of curly hair.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, Jan Michael Vincent is laying over her body weeping.
Yeah, it's kind of unclear. It would appear she's dead.
Yeah. Fade
Yeah.
to
Well,
hospital
I don't think
where
we-
she's catatonic.
Did you mention he has to he grabs her who's passed out and defenestrates them both through the burning
He
door.
does.
Yeah,
Do
he
that,
kind of
yes.
goes towards the fire instead of to the part of the house that's not on fire,
Yeah.
which is strange. But
It was the
Yeah.
fastest way to point A to point B.
Yeah.
He's a trucker. He's learned that.
yes,
He did figure out the logistics of that, despite it being 1975.
They also figured out the logistics of stop, drop, and roll because
Yeah.
that's how he got
Yeah.
himself. put
But
out.
anyway, fade to her in the hospital, like awake, but just kind of like staring off into space. And then the doctor takes Jan Michael Vincent aside, and he's like, they shouldn't have let you see her before
Yeah.
I spoke to you.
The doctor
and
with
he's
the
like,
worst
it's my goddamn
bedside
wife.
manner I've ever seen.
Oh,
he is
yeah.
fucking awful at this. He's just like, okay, you should have come and talked to me first about this, but look, lost the baby and lost all chance of ever having one again. See ya.
Yeah, but she could probably
He
still
said-
lead a normal
A
life.
normal life.
Well, the doctor puts it. He goes, the baby aborted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are
Like it had a button.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck
It-
Arizona.
It ejected.
that baby pulled the ripcord.
It's bugging
and
out.
it was time to go.
I must go. My people need me.
Yeah.
Yes, the baby died on the way back to its home planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, she's never having kids again. But she'll probably recover. She'll probably be all right eventually.
Yeah. She might lead a normal life. You guys-
Anyway, see ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he does. He just kind of like
he takes
just
like
kinda,
5 steps
backs his
down
way
and then
down
like
the
turns
hall.
around like I should probably have handled that better. Ah, well,
Yeah.
it's 1975.
Next time, don't come to me first.
It would have been great if he did like the half wave, be like, no wave.
Yeah.
Just keep walking, sir. So of course, Jan Michael Vincent's like, all right, and they show him drive home.
He sadly drives home.
Sadly, drive home, and they show him like just walk through the front door. You see the front door shut, and it just holds that for about 10 seconds. And then suddenly you get a blare of banjos on the soundtrack, and he busts out the door with a shotgun, and you're like, "Oh, it's on!"
Fuck yes, murder them all.
And he hops in his truck, which is somehow fixed up now.
magically fixed.
I don't know how they fixed it. But,
Yeah, because we glossed over but yeah,
They had figured out
they
the logistics of that.
completely wrecked his truck and threw a rattlesnake in it.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Kind of, but I mean, like, yeah,
I mean, like it was like
It was fucked up.
it like
they'd
like
bent
they had
and
bent
smashed
the
it.
front of it.
Dented
so
and-
we never know how it got fixed,
Yeah.
considering he has no money because he can't work for the trucking because
You just get another loan.
maybe.
maybe the trucker union helped him out. I don't know.
Sure.
They all had parts from their trucks. And
But yeah.
He needs to leave Arizona alone.
Alona.
Arizona Alona.
But so anyway, he's like, all right, fuck it. Going to the glass house. Gonna fuck up some rich guys.
Yep.
Gotta throw some
And
stones.
yeah, and he hits the road and he gets on the CB and he yells to the cop. He's like, "You tell him I'm on my way."
Tell him I'm coming.
Yeah. And so the cop guy immediately was like, "Oh, I'm going to stop you."
Yeah.
And
Best plan ever.
yeah, his shit gets wrecked. 'Cause-
Well, they're doing the law of tonnage thing on the road. Like I'm gonna run you off the road.
Yeah.
And he bumps the cop car once, and he's like, "Hey!" And he gets behind him, and it's just like, "I'll ram you from behind with your large exposed spinning truck tires."
Yeah.
And that goes as well as you would think.
It does,
He
yes.
just hits that, and his car just goes boom, and it just like flips and rolls, and it's like it's fucked.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
And the next shot is the rich fuck on the phone going, "Well, sorry about your car."
Yeah. Yeah. And he's
then,
like,
he's like, hey, secretary, call so and so to take care of this personally, and we see whatever dude
at the gate, like with
all the
five
security guards. He's like, all right, when he hits this point, he's gonna be trespassing, and we can do whatever we want. So light him up.
Yep.
And he gets there and like lines up at the end of the driveway.
He drives
and it's
all
night by
night.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets there and stops at the furthest point on this straightaway that he can, and just sits there for a minute. And it like cuts between him, and it cuts between the guards, cuts between him.
Yeah, and these guards are armed with like M16, like
Shotguns,
these guys have
M16s.
There's one with an M16.
Okay.
All the other ones have like lever action rifles.
Okay. But
Yeah,
one of them has the capability to put a lot of bullets into the vehicle
Yes.
quickly.
Yes.
Which he does, because like, all right, so they're shooting at the truck, and he's barreling towards the gate and everything.
Gunning it.
I think he plows through the guard gate first, and then the guy with the M16 is like, "I want to shoot at the cab," and like shoots him in the cheek.
Yeah,
Yep.
he gets
Yes.
shot in the face.
So, like it just like grazes off his cheek, and he's just like, "Ow, that kind of hurts." And that guy rolls out of the way, and it does just what you thought it was going to do earlier, except you kind of thought it was going to like somehow magically Lone Wolf McQuaid survive this. But he full speed barrels, hits that ramp for the sign, crashes through it in spectacular fashion, slow mo.
They do a nice slow mo as he just erupts through this sign, just destroying
But
it.
yeah,
It's
as
a
soon as he
good
hits the
crash.
ground, it's like that
That-
truck is fucked, and
That
so
truck's
is he.
done.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I was like, okay, so it's gonna be some kind of weird, like, unrealistic superhero truck that's gonna fly through this Fast and the Furious style, and he's gonna be fine and just drive through the glass house building too.
That's what I thought.
They didn't have the budget driving to that glass
Yeah.
house building.
It was a pretty good budget to build this sign.
I mean,
and
how
fuck it
good
up.
would it have been like for him to? Well, they didn't even have a glass house building for one. It was a matte painting.
right.
But if he had driven through the thing, like through the lobby, sort of like
Yes.
like over the top or
Yeah.
some shit,
Yes.
and then at the end just like drops out a stone.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but they didn't do that. No, he just fucks up his truck, and then it's like it
fades
shows,
out.
It
Fade
shows
to him
and it's
in the
like
hospital.
and it's like, is he dead? Nope. Okay, now he's in the hospital.
I honestly thought it was going to end with him like all bloodied, hanging over the steering wheel, because just before that they had shown all the rich fucks sitting down to dinner with each other, toasting each other, being like, "Oh, life is awesome."
Yeah, they're
isn't
not
it?"
even there. Like it's just this
Yeah.
one guy who's in charge of security.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's in the hospital. That his brother is like, "Hey man, you're gonna want to come outside and see
Well,
this."
there's a report on TV.
Yeah.
The reporter has come back
Right.
to tell us further adventures of the trucking community.
You see this triple T behind us? It should be filled with trucks
Yeah.
taking lumber and other things that go in trucks.
But they're
They're
not
all
on
on
strike.
strike.
Not on strike for money, and not on strike for better hours or whatever. They're on strike for Carol Joe, and
They're on strike for a man.
Yeah.
is what he says.
yeah, and then the brother Jim Henson comes in and is just like, "Come on, you got to see this. Come outside." And they wheel Jan Michael Vincent outside, and basically the entire town.
well, it's all the truckers and trucker wives and everybody related to it. I think.
I would assume that it's every trucker from the state of Arizona is
Probably.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all just
And
they
two
all-
trucks.
They don't applaud when they see him or anything. They're all just kind of staring him down, and he's like, ah. And then there's this weird,
Wow.
There's this weird camera pan because if you don't remember, Mrs. Hummer's still in the hospital from having her baby aborted into space or whatever, and they just sort of like pan over to her, and she's just like, I'm not happy.
She's looking out the
Yeah.
window like, "Man, fuck all of this." Still,
Yeah.
That's the weird thing. Like, it's not like she's next to him
No.
or anything. He's outside, and she is looking out of a window over his shoulder.
This shot
Like,
suggests that she is the villain in the sequel. Like she
Right.
is like, I'm gonna fuck you up, Jan Michael Vincent.
Yeah.
honestly, that shot is my favorite part of the movie. Legit, like it's an actual shot that says something
Yeah.
about everything that's happened in this movie.
She's just like,
But he-
son,
yeah.
I'm disappointed.
But it just kind of pans over to her like, not happy about this, and then back to him, and he just kind of smirks like, I guess I did it or
Yep.
something.
And
I'm
then
in
they-
charge of trucking.
Yep, and then they freeze frame on him,
and
That's
then
it.
it's just montage of driving.
yep.
Yeah,
what
and
a
the movie's over.
What a
Boy.
weird fucking movie, man.
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to rate it, because it did the job it needed to do of getting me fired up to fucking murder all these people.
Yeah.
But then it kind of never quite does it, and especially at the end, like his whole victory is like, you smashed a sign and ruined your truck and got put in the hospital.
Yeah.
And rich guys were like, "Huh, I guess we got to pay to fix the sign." We have money. Who cares?
Yeah, you may have turned the tide of public opinion, but so what?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean shit, especially in 1975 when there's no internet.
Yeah.
They hadn't figured out the
The
logistics,
logistics of the internet.
making data travel
Yeah.
over copper lines. Yeah.
I know how to rate it.
That's why it was so important to have trucking.
Yeah.
Because you still had to move your data back and forth.
That's
in
right. You
trucks.
had to put it in.
It was
But,
a big flatbed truck,
We'll say no Stargrove, no Ensign, none of that stuff. But,
But
the soundtrack,
Soundtrack slaps.
but it did have a
fucking great.
Martin Cove.
yes.
it did. God damn it.
All right.
So anyway, Chuck,
Yeah.
you said you knew how to rate this.
I know how
Okay.
to rate this. It's a Four Jocks movie. This movie just fucking goes. I've never seen a movie escalate and never de-escalate. Like, it just escalates and then it ends. It's weird. Like, everything about it just keeps escalating. Like, at no point does anyone go, yeah, maybe we should back off. No. Everyone's like, I will not let this stand. Like, the bad guys are like, we can't let this stand. And then Michael Vincent's like, I can't let this stand. And then they just keep going back and forth. And then at the end, the town is like, hooray. And then that's it. Like, it's over.
It was kind of the River Bend ending. Or just like, did we win?
Yeah.
Did
Yes.
we defeat racism?
Is racism
I
over?
don't know. Everyone's here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. So I can't give it 5 because it doesn't do what it needs to do at the end, which is everyone need to die in a fiery explosion. But man, I don't know. The escalating is so good, and then that truck stunt just fucking up that sign is real good too and really satisfying. It's the bad part is that it's symbolic and it doesn't mean jack shit. All he did was further fuck up his own life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And probably the lives of a bunch of other truckers, too.
yeah. So on one hand, it just doesn't get there, but on the other hand, man, I enjoyed the ride up until that point. And this movie looks good. This is a well-made B movie. Like 70s, like mid-70s, and this is a Roger Corman thing. Mid-70s, like, Roger Corman stuff was still like, we know what we're doing. We may not have the best actors in the world, but we know what we're doing, and we're going to do it as best we can. And this movie fucking goes for it. So for a drive-in PG trucker murder movie, that's pretty good.
Is it? I feel like there's a lot of blue balls in this movie, especially the entire movie. Like, you say it escalates and escalates and escalates.
It does, yes.
This is like
It's like
making
going to-
out with your wife for 90 minutes, and then she just like is, okay, I'm going to bed.
It's like going to a really good strip club, but you don't have money for the VIP room.
Yeah, and I don't know that I
That could be okay. I don't know.
I
I've
don't
never
know that
been to
I
a strip club. I don't know.
I don't know that I'm
It's
into that for my
1975.
movies. Like I want to finish. I want some shit to happen, and it keeps not happening though. Like we get
It has 2 scenes of happening. It's just that the criminals don't get the point. Like when they bust out of the truck and murder everyone, that should have stopped
but
it.
they don't murder everyone. They just beat the guys up.
Yeah, but-
and those guys are still there
I
in
know.
the next fight.
I know.
And then Buck just gets beaten up, and he's presumably still around.
Yeah.
Like and
Well, yeah. I mean,
Nobody-
Jan Michael Vincent never kills anybody in the movie.
right, nobody gets their comeuppance. Like their real ass comeuppance. The rich guys are still being rich assholes with their, Playboy bunny boardroom meetings and shit. Nobody gets what's coming to them, and Jan Michael Vincent isn't smart enough to get the fuck out for no reason. Like
Yeah. That's why she
Yes.
gives him that look at the end, like, you're going back to
right.
work, aren't you, you son of a bitch.
like nobody fucking learns. Nobody fucking gets it, and even when people try to get revenge, they fuck it up. Like, he didn't have to ramp through that big sign. Ramping through the big sign did fuck all.
Looked cool.
It looked fucking awesome. It did. But I don't know. Like, there's some really cool shit in this movie. Notably, that sign's probably the best thing that happens. But there's a lot of filler. There's a whole lot of driving a truck from one place to another. And there's a whole lot of, wait, what happened? Like, we pieced together the timeline here, but we had to make some leaps of logic between and discuss between 4 people what the fuck happened in several points of this movie. It's just not cohesive. It doesn't have, like, the revenge you're looking for. It's not in like joyous over the road, happy fun trucker movie. I don't know. I can't give it like I can't get anywhere near 4 jocks.
You don't have to.
I think the most I can give it is 2 jocks. It just doesn't quite do it for me, you know, like especially finishing like that, finishing on a wet fart. It just
I think it was a wet blanket.
yes, yes, that is more accurate. Yeah, finishes on a wet blanket. So 2 jocks. Soundtrack gets like 8 jocks though. That fucking soundtrack goes places, and I love it.
I can agree with the 2 jocks.
Good.
One
That's
is
the
for
right
the
answer.
sign ramming explosion, and the other one is for the soundtrack. Otherwise, it's a very frustrating movie to me because it seems like the only time the good guys get any sort of jump on the bad guys, it doesn't really matter. You know, it's like the time has already passed for it, so it feels like this little like pointless victories along the way, and even the end is like this pointless victory because it's like you didn't do anything, and that kind of frustrates me a little bit. But yeah, it's still there's some fun trucking, but the guy should have listened to his wife and never gotten into that whole trucker and stuff. She was like, that's the thing. Like the hero of the movie's wrong. He's just like your wife, the one at the end who's like looking out the window going, man, fuck everything about this, is the one who actually knew what was up and said, let's just leave. We don't have to stay here. And especially now they don't because his best friend is dead. Yeah. And it basically cost them their chance at a family because he wouldn't fucking give it up. Yeah. Sorry. 2 jocks.
Don't worry, Chuck. I'm with you on the 4 jocks.
Thank you.
Well, there's a right side of the table and a wrong side of the table tonight.
I can't. The craziest thing about this is you touched on it is how well made this movie is. It's crazy because like there's some occasional bad fight choreography. Like I said, there's one clear punch where he just so whiffs on Martin Cove.
Yeah. But it was 1975.
Yeah.
They had not
Right.
figured out the logistics of fighting.
But they are doing things like the transitions and stuff are really good in this, and
I can agree with that.
and like there's like it's weird because he's in Hooper. This feels like a movie that Hooper and company would have been working on.
Yeah.
Like there's some crazy ass stunts happening in this movie.
Yep.
And like dangerous shit, and they're just like, yeah, I'll do it. You know, like and that's what's like. There's something. This just feels like the other end of that book where it's like, oh, this was like the behind the scenes, and now you get to watch the thing they're actually working on because that like climbing up out of the truck, rolling down the cab, you know, just style shooting the truck off the side for no reason. Of course, the crazy truck through the sign thing at the end. Yeah, I mean, the real issue isn't really solved, but it's so much fun along the way to me. You know, and some people got their comeuppance. It's not like the big bads got theirs, but you know, that's life, man. Like, you know, you gotta take your battles like you can. I mean,
I don't watch movies for life.
I'm saying like you know
life,
you win the battles you can, and you take out the immediate people. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like things might be okay afterwards. Not really. Not
No,
at all.
nothing's gonna be
not
okay.
at all. But
Nope.
Well,
Everything's bad.
I mean, it's a bit hyperbolic, but I mean, some people are saying in the chat, and I kind of agree. This is Truckers Chinatown. It basically is. I mean, it has a sad ending. It's like nothing is resolved. You know, like it's just like and the escalation things. It's just it is. It's like Roger Corman was like, what if we made Chinatown but with truckers and let's just try to make it as good as we possibly can. What do you say? You know, and it's fairly accurate.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
I am curious about what got cut out.
The dog getting killed.
Yeah, so
Probably
it had
not.
to have been a dead dog when she dropped the beer bottle, right?
It was a dead rabbit when she dropped your bottle.
Man,
That
you're gonna have to explain that joke to everyone listening.
Nope. Look it up.
All
I
right.
mean, I was thinking Fatal Attraction, but I don't know what.
No.
Yeah. I don't even understand what
It
this
was
joke
it was
is,
an
so-
old timey way to determine pregnancy was
Yeah, the
something
rabbit
involving
test.
a dead rabbit.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
or not
Wow.
a rabbit.
So what
died.
you're saying in pre-1975,
This
they had
joke
not
pre-
figured out the logistics
of
of
pregnancy
pregnancy
tests.
tests.
Correct, yeah. It involved a rabbit dying.
Yeah. In light of some not new evidence, but recently reviewed evidence, I had not really considered the really good stunt work in this movie.
It's pretty good.
There's a lot of it.
Mhm.
You're right, Harlow, about that. There's a lot of it, and it's really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and upgrade to 3 jocks.
There you go, buddy. 10-4.
Okay.
Because you see that stunt work. It's pretty fucking good. But all my criticisms still stand.
Yeah. And I really want the center section of this movie's soundtrack. Like,
Yeah.
not the entire thing. Like, there's some like super honky tonk shit in the beginning and at the bar and stuff. It's like I could take or leave. But when it gets into the dirty harmonica and the disco like
Harmonica, funky bass,
bluegrass
and,
shit, it's like
Yeah.
like wah
I'm
pedal
all
stuff.
about this. Yeah.
And I think we can all agree, closing out this half, that this fucking Blu-ray is a fucking BMFcast.
It's a banger.
Mm-hmm.
Blind Fury, Silent Rage, and White Line Fever, and I think this Blu-ray is like $8. That's
It's an odd combo,
Yeah.
but I'll allow it, I guess.
yeah.
We've
It's
covered them.
value. Yeah.
It's yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a break, shall we?
Let's
Okay. Somebody usually says something more than a thumbs up.
true. All right, so y'all got Spider-Man's and
I have 2 movies.
Who's got Spider-Man's?
One theatrical.
Did you both watch Spider-Man's?
No.
Oh.
I watched Captain Marvel
Yeah, I thought I might.
and The Meg.
Thought I might weigh in a little bit more on the
Yeah.
Captain Marvel actually being here.
Yeah.
I will just save mine for next week
Okay.
because they're all old.
Oh, I was gonna say I was gonna blow through quickly what I watched on vacation. Just, but I mean, like no review. Just like, hey, I watched this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yes.
While we're on break, I will say I've watched all but the last 2 episodes of Titans, the not the Rock show, but the the Teen Titans DC.
Oh, right, yeah.
Streaming service thing.
And
Man, I've never seen a worse trailer because like that show's actually pretty damn good. Like that trailer looked real bad, and whoever made that trailer should be ashamed because I think the show's pretty good. I mean, it does get a little annoying sometimes where it's like, hey, we're allowed to say fuck on this show or and stuff, so like they sometimes get a little crazy, but it's still pretty good. So that's all.
Yeah, I'm still not used to language showing up in a Star Trek show.
Oh, has that happened in Discovery?
It's happened once or twice. Like they don't overdo it or anything, but every once in a while someone will let one go, and you're just like, "What? Wait." The mouth on you.
it throws me off in Torchwood, strangely enough.
Yeah. Well, it's after the watershed.
Hmm.
It's before the watershed.
Sure.
It's during the watershed.
What's the watershed?
It's like
Remember the thing that
it's their line of demarcation to where it's like you
remember we
can't
had
sue
that
us.
explanation thing, didn't
Yeah.
we? Yeah.
You can't sue after this time. We can do whatever we want.
Okay.
It's like basically how we had a gentleman's agreement after 10 o'clock that NYPD Blue could say
Yeah. Could,
shit.
Could show you a butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Dennis Franz's butt.
That's what the world wanted.
Yep.
That and Harvey Keitel.
Yeah.
Could get enough of those 2 asses.
Man, not like
Yeah.
big old man asses. That's how we broke ground.
Nope.
All right.
Let's do a second half.
All right.
Crank it out.
More like broke round. Because they're butts.
Yes, there. Correct.
All right, welcome back.
Hey, BMFcast.
Second half.
Hey, number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What up?
Not much.
What's up?
Yeah.
Let's
Who
talk
goes first?
movies. I think we have some more Captain Marvel thoughts.
Yeah.
So let's get those out of the way.
I saw it.
Awesome. What did you think?
I think it's pretty damn good.
Did I accurately or wrongly describe it in my?
Oh, and that voicemail?
No, he made specific.
I said
References
it's a little bit. I said
to
it's a little
which-
bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of
Yeah.
that.
I didn't quite say it. I'll be honest. It was not entirely what I was expecting. Like a lot of the movie went. I can't like. There's stuff that's predictable in it, it's pretty, and especially if you have any knowledge of comics, you're like, oh, okay, But aside from that, it just kind of like the journey that it took was not where I was expecting that sort of movie to go and take some of the detours that it does. But man, it's weird seeing the DH Samuel L. Jackson for so much of that movie. Like it throws me off because it's just like, because Jen afterwards was like, did they just coat him in a lot of makeup? And I'm like, no, they ran him through some CG routine like for the entire movie.
Yeah. Seeing him de-aged for that long is really a testament to how good the technology is these days. Like it
Yeah, because seeing him in the Spider-Man trailer before the movie, you're like, man, Samuel L. Jackson looks old. Yeah. And then you see him in that, and you're like, damn, Samuel L. Jackson looks young. But there's just, and a lot of people have said, like, the music can be a little bit on the nose, but there's something about, like, I guess, like, it's because of my age that like, when you play Garbage's Only Happy When It Rains as someone drives off into the sunset, you're like, all right, that's a damn mood right there.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like you fucking know exactly what you're going for, and you nailed it with this.
Because that's what we do when we're sad.
Yeah.
Like, we as children who listen to music, or people who listen to music in the 90s. I think, even though the music is kind of, or some of the music is kind of on the nose, like...
But it's great.
It works.
Like that when that Elastica, like...
The
beat
say,
they use where they drop the Elastica song is just like, all right, yeah, you fucking got me.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I mean, I think if you were cool in the 90s, you knew who they were, but they didn't hit it real big ever, I don't think.
Who's that?
Elastica?
There are a couple of songs that were pretty big.
Connection was about the only one, I think. Is that what the one they picked, or was it something else?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have gone like, oh, yeah, I'm into Elastica, but I would have known the song, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but they're just like, they're not like exactly deep cuts of the 90s.
Oh, no.
So to speak. But
definitely not.
Yeah, but it's nice having Marvel give themselves a Superman character who, like, earns it. That, like, doesn't become Superman just because they were born Superman. Because that's basically, by the end of this movie, Captain Marvel. It's like, yeah, she's fucking practically omnipotent. Like, she can fucking wreck anybody. And, the only issue I have, which is really dumb, but this is just me doing my comic book thing, is the whole escalation factor of it and going like, all right, you have this character that can do practically anything. So why don't you just keep calling them whenever anything goes wrong and just have them fix shit? I know they kind of explain it somewhat, but then it becomes like, if you're going to keep this character around, like, it becomes a case of, just like Thor, it's like, no, you got to send them somewhere where, like, nobody else can get to them, and they're on their own solo
Bifrost, so he can't come back.
Yeah. It's I don't like when you're stuck in that situation story wise, where you're like, all right, we have to isolate this character because if they're there, they just fix everything.
Yeah.
But no, and man, Brie Larson is so good. Like the right level of swagger and cockiness that she has throughout, and even when it gets, like, knocked out of her at certain points, but then when she gets it back, it's like, yes.
Her badass walk is so unique.
Yeah.
It's so
good.
Weird.
Too.
It's like she's got this way that she just throws her shoulders sort of when she walks, when she's in badass mode, and I love it. It's so bizarre.
I just love that there were like 3 or 4 scenes in that movie where I was just like, where something happens with her, and I'm just like, oh, you guys are fucked.
Yeah. You fucked up now.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite feelings, is watching a movie and knowing that the person you're rooting for is about to fuck a bunch of people up that need to get fucked up.
It's like the fucking Led Zeppelin. What's the song?
Immigrant Song?
Yes, it's like the Immigrant Song's part of Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, you gonna get it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the best thing about Infinity War, is just like one of the characters actually calls that out. When he's just like, you guys are so screwed now.
Yeah, I think that was Bruce Banner, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm ready for Endgame at this point.
So ready.
Yep.
My body is ready.
What, April 19th?
It's soon.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's within the realm. I should already be looking to buy tickets.
Yeah.
I think.
I am, I'm caught up on all the Marvel things except Shield and any of the other like Netflix stuff.
Yeah,
so
they don't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't matter in terms of
Right.
the MCU.
Yeah.
They do tie things into Agents of Shield, but it's inconsequential.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the most is like you might get an Easter egg in like in game or something.
Yeah.
That's tied to that.
Yeah. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like the X that you don't think about, but the X is thinking about you.
Right.
That's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where Cinematic Universe is like, no, I'm not thinking about them. And they're like, oh, yeah, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're part of you guys, right? And then movies are like, yeah, Coulson, I guess he's still alive. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I had more thoughts to say, but I don't without being spoilery. I can't
Yeah.
think of anything else I want to say.
I like where they take a lot of things, and I like the humor that arises from a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially in the second half of the movie.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one thing I don't think I said in my voicemail last week is I know you just during the break you were talking about Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
And I granted I have not given that much of a chance, but like my early initial was like, oh good, they've done DC universe stuff with the dark, with Star Trek. It's like it's all dark and moody and I mean, like I said, it may have changed now.
It did.
They may have course corrected a little bit, but the reason why I like the Orville initially so much better, and it's not that I'm like some huge Seth MacFarlane fan, is I enjoy people still talking like people even despite dire situations. Like it's within most people's nature to still be kind of jokey, gallows humor, whatever you want to call it in whatever situation. And I love I think that's why Guardians of the Galaxy works so much and why I kind of mentioned it is just like this has that too, where it's like there's some shit going down, but we'll still drop a joke and it won't feel like joke. And Orville, for being from the guy who made Family Guy, where it's just like shoehorn jokes in everywhere you get.
Right.
It's like this is just a situation, and like you're kind of thinking it as a viewer, and somebody will usually say it like, "This is fucked up, right?" Like yeah, it is. Yeah, thanks for calling that out.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that kind
And
of
a
thing.
lot of the humor, especially near the end, comes just from character reactions to each other and like facial expressions at certain moments.
Yeah, and I like how they've. I mean, Marvel's been really good about this all along. I mean, I'm sure somebody has made a BuzzFeed article about all the plot holes in the MCU, but like the major stuff is kind of fascinating how well tied together it is. I mean, because we were having a conversation about a certain key MacGuffin device in the thing, and you're like, and like, where is that in here? And this is and this, and then, but even like down to another level, like I don't think this is spoilery if you can look at the cast of somebody, but like Jamon Hunsu is in this movie, and he's the same character he was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It's not just like, hey, we brought the same actor in and forget that. It's like, no, it makes sense that he was in both places. Like, it's just, it's little stuff like that. Like basically a bit role in another movie. Now he's a bigger character that explains him more,
They somehow either the plan was there all along and they've done a masterful job of executing it, or they managed to leave themselves enough room to flex where they needed to flex. And I don't know, just I think I've said this before, but I'm continually impressed that we are 45 years into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and nothing is majorly fucked up. Like this, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing everything that the Star Wars Extended Universe did wrong. Is doing everything right that the Star Wars Extended Universe did wrong, which is like it's all like cohesive and smoothed out and run well. Star Wars EU just let everybody take off into a billion different directions. This is focused.
Well, they clearly have people shepherding things and go, does this contradict anything else?
Yeah.
Does this mess this up? Okay, if you really want to do this, how do we make it work so that it makes sense for things that come later?
And it's what, Kevin Feige?
Feige?
I think it's Feige. I
Feige.
think it's
Kevin
Feige.
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 Kevin Jiff is
Yeah.
He's been the sort of the running things the whole time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's been.
Yeah, he's 100%
that's like
since Iron
But
Man 1.
But I mean, and there's something to be said against writing teams, but that there's like a writer's room for all of this, and that it's basically like, all right, here are the plot points, and then whatever your script, if you're writing the script for this movie, ends up being, they're taking a pass at all of it to go, all right, this doesn't work. This part needs to come out because we're using this character here later for this, and we don't want to contradict that. They very clearly had a plan, which is why everything's working. Whereas, with like DC or whatever, they were just like, all right, go make your movie and we'll figure it out. And you do this, and Zack Snyder will be in charge of everything. But then, Zack Snyder had so much going on that no, that didn't happen. So, it shows when you actually have people who know what the fuck they're doing and planning things to run the stuff. And, there's still plenty of people who are like, well, I don't like those movies. So,
Well, I mean, also, Zack Snyder's not a visionary. Like, he is...
he's a stylist.
He's a stylist. Yeah, it's style
He's
over
not
substance.
someone who's good at...
Yeah. It's like, does this look cool? Okay, do that.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, the more you try to make something look cool, the less it will look cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, I mean, this is historical.
I know somewhere down the line when everyone's like gotten off their hipster I hate Marvel high horse, someone is going to look back and go, holy shit, that was a crazy era of movies that somebody made 20, 30, whatever the hell we end up
we're on
on
21
yeah.
right now.
I mean, like, however many movies they end up on, and then just like, and it was cohesive up until this point, whereas any other long-standing series would have had so many potholes in the road along the way, James Bond, and and it's like, yeah, there's great ones and it can come back, but it's like there's still Octopussy, and there's still shit. Fucking don't even give me that look. That movie blows, and
it does. It is fucking.
That is
awful.
the worst James Bond movie by far.
There's 25 of those, and it's spanned 50 years now. And even with Broccoli sort of at the helm, he hasn't always been. Able to rein it in. Like, this is monumental. Yeah. This will be studied for many years to come, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. Like,
so
I'm jazzed about Endgame.
Yeah. So speaking of Marvel movies,
Yes.
you saw another one.
Did I? I did.
Yeah.
One
I still need to watch.
This one
at
is
some point.
inconsequential to the MCU. Possibly. Who knows? Maybe. I'd be jazzed if they managed to bring this one around. But I saw Into the Spider-Verse finally. I succumbed to the hype. And goddamn, I'm glad I did. Like, Into the Spider-Verse is fucking amazing. Yeah. It is... The story is great. The visuals are great. The sound is great. The animation is incredible. The acting is really good. I don't think there's anything wrong with Into the Spider-Verse. I think it's
I've
quite
mostly
possibly perfect.
come back around on some of my gripes. I still have one minor one, and it's I don't know, it's dumb. It's really dumb. It's the size of Kingpin. It's just like, holy shit. Like, I mean, I get it. He's a big guy, but he's like the size of a fucking house. Literally in this movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything is so blown out. Like, it's all super stylized, crazy anyway, so it works. It's fine.
The neat thing is, like, it does such a fascinating job of blending realism and comic books and comic book stylistic.
I've watched it like 3
stuff.
times since it's come to home video. Like, it's so good.
I just was astonished, really. I could not believe it was as good as it was. Like, people were saying how great it was, and I was like, well, it looks interesting. I think that I'll like the way it looks, and it just blew me away. I don't know what to say. It was wonderful. It would have been easily in my top 5 if I had seen it, because that was a 2018 movie, right? Yeah, that would have been easily in my top 5, easily.
Man, I need to watch it.
It's really good. Watch it in the highest quality that you can, though. I was watching it via Plex, and for some reason Plex had decided to revert to like Potato Vision, and I couldn't get it to unfuck itself until the credits. So I got to watch the credits in stunning 1080p, but the rest of the movie kind of potatoed out in some of the super action scenes. So, like, I could tell that it was great looking at the points where it was a little bit fuzzy. That's another thing that they did with Into the Spider-Verse. Like, there are shots where the stuff in the foreground, like, they do some really interesting things with focus in an animated movie. Like, there's stuff in the foreground that is sort of double vision.
They intentionally did offset printing.
Yeah.
Like, to capture the fact that, like, bad printing was done on old comic books. That, like, one color was run slightly off the...
I got you.
That was
So
totally
they were
intentional.
supposed.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that the focus kind of stuff was
Yeah, they
intentional.
do that
where
too,
like they
yeah.
did, but a lot of movies would just put it out of focus. But they put it out of focus, but doubled, so it looks like something does when it's out of focus in front of your. Like if you take your hand and focus on something 10 feet away, put your hand like a foot away from your eye, it's doubled up.
Yeah.
They did like that, and that I don't think I've seen that before, and it was an amazing effect, and all of the, like, what do they call that, Mackie, when the print is a bunch of little teeny tiny circles?
That's just the offset process.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I mean,
That's
you're,
what they
yeah,
call
I mean, you're talking about like in a filter thing. It'd be the comic. They call it the comic book effect.
Yeah.
the pixelated comic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an Instagram filter.
Yeah, but that stuff all over the place, and the sound is
You can call it dithering.
dithering. Yeah, there you go. There are certain little really nice touches with the sound. Turn it the fuck up whenever the Prowler is on the screen. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I genuinely think once you guys see this movie, this might be last year's Scott Pilgrim, where
Yeah.
it sounded like I didn't love it, but I was really just trying to warn you because it's such a in-your-face movie that I was like, you just need to know going in, like Scott Pilgrim, what you're in store for, because I think you will enjoy it more.
Right.
You know, because like not knowing, like I just saw the previews and I was like, yeah, okay, it's an animated Spider-Man movie, and then not knowing it was going to be like literally from the opening credits, just like like the
Yes,
like the
fucking strap in.
like the Maxwell cassette thing where your head's just getting
Right.
blown back for 90 minutes.
And that was still kind of what happened to me. The first, like, 5 minutes, I was like, what the fuck is going on? There's a lot. This is a lot.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hovered on buy the 4K disc for about 2 minutes today, and I still want a better deal. Like I just don't know when it used to be like 4K discs were like, hey, it's new and it's on sale, so it's like $22 and a Blu-ray is like $15. Now it's like 4K discs, fuck you, it's on sale at $27 instead of $30 or $35 or $40,
Yeah.
and it's like, god damn, guys.
Well, they
like,
know because it's only the people like us,
Yeah.
the diehards, that are still buying them. So,
right.
yeah. I need to buy it just because I own all the other Spider-Man movies on Blu-ray. So,
There you go.
yeah. But anyway, I saw another 2018 movie.
Oh,
I saw The Meg.
Haha.
Yeah.
Is that
That's-
about a Meg of the Lodon?
Yeah, that's a BMFcast ass movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In
These
the-
guys did
in
an
the
extra on it.
Good, bad movie?
Yes,
As in 1 to
it
5
is.
jocks?
It is a good bad movie for sure. That is a movie where its first act would be most movies' second act, because they get into that shit quick.
Yeah, they
They're like, you know what? We don't want to bore you with setting up who these characters are and like giving their backstory. I mean, they're like, all right, here's Statham's backstory, because a bunch of people are going to complain about it. But otherwise, they're like, all right, we're sending it down. We're going to find that megalodon, and then we're going to get to the megalodon eating shit. And they do, and it's good. And it's also a movie like a movie where you just let Statham do everything he wants to do,
Yes.
and he does almost everything that you want him to do. And it's also a movie that is just like, yeah, we could like probably opt to be realistic, but fuck that. He's outrunning a shark by swimming. You know, he's going to swim faster than a megalodon. Deal with it. Just like little shit like that. That if you think about anything for a few minutes,
yeah.
you're like, God, fuck this. What the hell? but
Like
it's
if
entertaining
you watch
as
this
shit,
in
and the set design
1975,
is so fucking good.
when they hadn't figured out logistics,
Right.
Yeah.
they would have been very upset at everything that
That's-
happened in this.
That's correct.
No, but it's a lot of fun. I'd probably go 4 jocks. I think you guys both went 5.
We did.
Yeah.
I think you would have benefited from the group experience.
Yeah,
'cause we got
that is
hyped.
definitely a group experience movie.
Yeah, we had a good time.
we got super hyped by the end of that movie.
That was pretty, we were pretty dope.
I think we both like high-fived and went 5 jocks when one thing at the end of the movie happened. We were just like, that's all it took.
Yep.
High fives.
Yep.
5 jocks. Let's go.
Yep. Yep.
Oh man,
Yep.
I gotta watch it now.
You really should.
Yeah, you should.
Kind of mad at you guys for it not being a BMFcast movie.
It's
now.
too long. It's 2 hours.
Yeah, it's not a short movie.
We need
but
to,
it is-
We need to get rid of that.
It's one of those that's also like shit just keeps happening. Because it's one of those where like they could do this scene where like, okay, well they're gonna do this and then this is gonna happen, and they're like, well, what if this also happened at the same time, and then maybe this too, and you're like, fucking hey, there's a lot going on here, but it's all awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. And there was a point where Jen was ready to shut it off, and luckily we didn't, and pushed through to the end of the movie.
That might have been the high five moment I'm referring to.
It's the Baxter moment. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so funny when you texted me because I was like, I don't know if I should tell him or if he's watching this now or if he watched it earlier.
Because I texted Chuck, I'm like, I was not expecting a moment like this in The Meg.
And I was just like, yeah, that's interesting.
And I had a feeling it was going to go where it was going to go.
Okay.
But
We didn't. We were like, wow, they did that? Fuck that. That seems random, especially with 7 minutes left in your movie.
yeah,
But it all worked out.
it did. It all worked out.
Yeah.
But it also had among the worst on-screen romances I think I've seen since like Julia Roberts and George Clooney in Ocean's 11, where like I didn't buy any of that for even like a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Like this is actually worse than that pairing. Yeah,
You're not there for that.
I know, but it's one of those things. It's like, why is this even here?
Yeah.
Like literally, why did you even do this?
Gotta get them ladies in. Ladies like the romance.
Maybe
Says
I don't know.
a studio exec who doesn't understand just making a cool movie.
Yeah.
Meg.
Yeah, but you guys made a good point too. Like every character is well defined, like as in personality wise.
Yeah, when a character
Like, they
gets
may
killed,
be
you're
kinda-
like, oh no.
Yeah, but and they may be kind of one note, but you're also like no, like you when all those characters get together in a scene, you know how they're going to behave towards each other person in that scene, which is very difficult to pull off without like giving people extensive backstory and all that sort of shit. So, yeah, it's fun. It is a good bad movie. It and Rampage are tied for, hey, we know exactly what we're making here movies from last year.
Yeah. I'm glad that movie made money. I'm glad they were making a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys got any other movies you want to hit real quick? Nothing?
Nah.
You want to just call it there?
We got an email.
Okay.
I'll read it real quick. So we got one email.
Ooh, let's do an email.
Yeah. From Seth, who missed the anniversary. How do I know that? Because he titled his email, I missed the anniversary.
Oh. Seth.
Said, I have fallen behind in episodes, and I completely missed the 10th anniversary podcast. New responsibilities at work and real-life trauma take up a person's time like nothing else. I've been listening to you guys since before Blaxploitation Month, and I can honestly say you have only gotten better with time. Like other listeners, your camaraderie, humor, and enthusiasm have gotten me through unemployment, sickness, and pain. I truly thank you for all the many years of service, and I can try to support you on Patreon as much as I can. If I had to pick my favorite moment from the thousands of hours of conversations and laughter, it would have to be Mackey's attempt at a Southern Alabama bitch from Vampire Cop, which I do not recall at all.
No memory.
Though you all despise the movie, your jokes throughout your review still crack me up to this day. It is the only episode I have listened to more than 20 times, and that is not an exaggeration.
Holy shit, dude.
Man, I might have to re-listen to that one just to see what jokes we were making. Thank you for all that you do, and I hope to send you a similar message, maybe with fewer sad moments from here to then in 10 years. Crash and burn, Seth from North Carolina. Well, thanks, Seth.
Yeah.
I find it funny when people remember episodes where
I know,
we're like,
yeah.
I barely remember Vampire Cop, except it like being shot on video.
Yeah, I just there's so
Is
many
that
movies.
the one where there was the vampire or the cop was a vampire?
I think.
Maybe.
I think that was the one where we were confused because there was a cop hunting a vampire, and he
Yeah.
wasn't a vampire
I
himself.
think
that's
what it
right.
that was
Yeah.
the movie that was filmed in Pensacola
Oh yeah, that's
with
why
like
I
a
blocked it out.
camcorder.
It smelled odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where the Pensacola hate may have begun. I don't know.
But it's
The Pensacola hate started.
At least
Yeah.
the verbalization of it
Well,
for us here.
but it had a cool theme song.
Did it?
Yeah.
Vampire cop.
No.
Vampire cop.
No.
Vampire cop.
It just it
Vampire
launches
cop.
at you like the movie starts and this guy is just fucking going for it. That's all I remember.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks, Seth. I'm glad you enjoyed that episode.
Maybe we should listen to it 20 times.
It once.
Yeah, get back to me on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, BJ, if other people want to write us, they don't have to write about 10th anniversary. You can write about anything else.
Yeah. Tell us more about how much you love us and all of your favorite moments.
Or that, too.
By emailing us at bmf@bmfcast.com. Or call from the road,
Uh-huh.
because I'm pretty sure we had a trucker that we haven't heard from, or if you drive a train, or if you ride a train.
You drive a train.
What else? How else? Pilot a train? Fly a train? You tell me how to do a train.
I don't know. I am not a trained
trainist?
I'm not a trained to
They,
train.
they are engine drivers or engineers.
Yes.
Drivers.
Depending on if you're
John
talking
Henry.
UK or US.
I'm no John Henry over here.
I know. But you can call us from the road at 9105-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263. You know that thing that you normally just do Snapchat on? Pick it up, pound some numbers into it, and talk to Garfield.
Sure.
It's the Garfield hotline.
That's a hell of a slogan.
Pound some numbers
Pound some
into it.
numbers. Talk to Garfield.
That's going to be our new intro line.
1-900-Garfield.
900 hot garf. Anyway, if you want to check out the website or all the other social links, bmfcast.com will get you to the website, and the right-hand rail of said website will get you to all of our socials, including but not limited to Patreon, which is how this show is funded. It's how we keep the servers running. It's how we keep
Speaking
the
of,
lights
bring me a
on.
drink.
Yes.
We got servers?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
like
we have
in-
Unaware.
You're like in Playboy Bunny outfits.
Playboy
and-
Bunny outfit
Yeah.
cocktail
Are-
waitresses.
I got to sit on the
You've,
other side
you've
of the
ne-
table.
you've never taken advantage of our corporate boardroom buddy.
Corporate
I am
bunnies.
Apparently just so focused on the show.
Corporate bunnies. But yeah, patreon.com/BMFcast. Throw in a couple bucks to the pot, and you'll get a bunch of extra content, including but not limited to Doctor Who U and BMFcast Extra and bonus BS occasionally.
Yeah.
And we have some stuff for our sister site, No Quarters. We have some extra material there that you can peruse. It's pretty good. It's a good deal. Also, even though nobody listens to this point, I'm sure, update on the shirts. They are ordered. They are in process. So they our shirt people are taking a little bit longer than I expected, but they're in process. So
Maybe we should downgrade to silver shirts and we can sell our worn shirts. People might pay extra, for
Yeah.
our Musk.
what do you mean? We should downgrade?
Yeah, we should
personally?
get shirt.
Oh.
Take our gold shirts and sell them as
Yeah.
as a premium.
Previously
item.
worn
Yeah.
by me.
Yeah. Bad Musk fiends.
I'm sure we could
Is that
get.
Elon Musk's Twitter account?
I'm sure we could get several dollars for our used shirts.
Probably.
on eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just now I'm thinking of the line in fucking High Fidelity. It was like, it's signed. Oh, I'll give you like less.
But yeah, keep a lookout. Keep an eye on the Discord or the Twitter.
Twitter's
or,
your best
or
bet.
the website, and you'll find out when we get the shirts in, and we're gonna open it up to patrons first for a little bit, so they can have first crack at these hot shirts, and then everybody else. But the price is going to be the same for regardless of whether you're a generous, loving, kind patron or a peon who just does the regular thing and freeloads all of our content.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. All right.
Yeah. Freeloaders and stuff.
We appreciate you.
We do. We haven't said this in a few episodes, but if you are a quote-unquote freeloader, as BJ just called you, because he doesn't like you.
I do like you. You're just a freeloader.
The very least you could do, it's free. go on iTunes or other places you can get us and leave reviews. Those things help. Like, go make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube so we can hit that 1,000 subscriber magic number thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Little reactivate our AdSense account.
Ring our bell.
Yeah, little things you can do that are totally free. Just take clicky bits.
Tell a friend publicly.
Yeah, there you go.
Retweet our stuff occasionally, like on Fridays when we drop a new episode. Retweet it so that all of your friends can see.
Don't keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah. You may not be fiscally able to support us, but you can help us with getting the word out.
Because like pro tip, after 500 episodes, we're no one's hipster podcast.
Nah.
Right.
We are for the masses, so just tell everybody about that shit.
But, all right. Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Yeah.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. See you mother truckers next time.
Merp, merp.
Merp.
1-900 lasagna would work for the Garfield line, too.
Ooh, yeah.
It's just enough.
I think we established that you can't make a 1-900 number anymore.
Okay, fine. 1-800 lasagna. Because now the 800 numbers can be like, toll numbers, too, now.
Yeah, give us your credit card.
Right.
But yeah,
We should
lasagna's
change it
7
to
letters.
lasagna. 910 lasagna.
No.
Yep.
All right. Have a nice evening.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
See you next week.
Fare
Good
thee
night.
well. We will watch another movie
Hey,
next week.
we should do that. Maybe do a podcast about it.
We will
No. I'm tired
we-
of podcasts. Ew.
will do that with a hot new movie.
Pod people. Pod. No, it's crab people.
Crab people.
Yeah. I always want to sing the pod people thing from Mystery Science Theater, but
Yeah.
it's in crab people
Yeah.
from South Park.
So every once in a while, do the little bendy part. It's a little bendy. Let's bend it a little bit. I told you to do the bendy part. I win. 1-0. You enjoying this bonus content there,
Yeah.
streamers?
Bonus base.
This is what happens when Google takes over our video games. We're gonna sit here and fucking
Like, hit that button and you could
Yeah.
be playing the movie.
yeah.
Right. You could
Bong.
play this right now. You could be, if you hit a button, you could be play the gooseneck thing. I'm really bad at pitching things right now.
Bomb.
Hey man, where's Kyle?
Hey, Kyle.
Man.
Kyle's supposed to be here like 2 hours ago.
I'm worried about Kyle. You guys.
Maybe you had like a fiber 2 bar.
A what?
Fiber 2.
Yeah. A fiber 2 bar.
Fiber 2 bar. 2 bar. Come on, Kyle. One time. Come on.
Come on, Kyle, one time. Come on, Kyle, one time. Hey. All right, shut it down.
Yeah.
Word. I'm tired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a long.
It's
road.
been a long
It's been a long road.
Yeah,
Getting from there to here.
Yeah, such a good song.
We gonna sell that one? We gonna
What?
put that on the eBays?
Right.
Oh,
Payback
fuck
time?
no.
Okay,
That's a treasure.
good.
It's a treasure.
Besides, it's not going to get. I mean,
Not gonna
work here anymore. Nah, this is a keeper. Keeper. All right.
Yep. Good
Thanks
night, everyone.
for
Sorry.
stopping
Sorry,
by.
we ran out of everything.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we
The
just
gas.
ran out
No
of
more
gas.
juice.
Yeah, it's a waste of diesel.
Got fucking no juice.
If Kyle shows up after we're gone, tell him we love him.
You're not gonna be here either.
Yeah, you're sitting here like, man, I sure hope Kyle shows up.
You guys just keep waiting in the chat for Kyle. Are we online?
No, we're still on the line.
Oh, we're online.
I gotta
Hey!
hit this stop the button. Hey, we're on the podcast. That's how you're supposed to start a podcast. Not that dumb shit we were doing earlier.
Yeah. Tweet.
Tweet. That's how you start a podcast or start a YouTube stream and get all the viewers.
Yeah.
Tweet.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit. We get our 50 views of this.
Mm-hmm.
We get about 125 before the interest dies, and I haven't labeled any of them for like 3 months, so I should probably do that.
Yeah, it might help. Our CO. Or CO.
Our commanding officer
Yeah.
wanting some more.
SEO.
Oh,
Yeah.
SEO.
I was just saying it like, one word. SEO. SEO. Say me. Say. Huh?
Behringer thing?
Did I buy a what?
A new Behringer thing, or has this just been sitting here forever?
Which Behringer thing?
I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know which
What
Behringer
is
thing you're
it?
referring to.
What are you poking at?
Oh,
That. It's just 2 amp.
an Ultra Gain 100?
Yeah, I think this was from this one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Remember his was making.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't know that you bought a new
I think we need to buy another one of these.
Show's over.
Okay, sorry.